But if you other bills, with Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs made a splash over the weekend as the third team in a three-team trade that landed DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento from the Bulls, as San Antonio got veteran forward Harrison Barnes and an unprotected 2031 pick in this trade. To make room, they traded guard Devontae Graham and a second-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, gather around. We got stuff to talk about. No, I'm not AJ Hoffman. This guy played his vacation perfectly. Played into the hurricane barrel. I've never seen anybody play anything more perfect than he did. He played chess. We just played checkers. He ain't here because of the hurricane. No, and I know it's not raining here, but he managed to find a way not to have to be here. But he gone. This is Rob, and you might recognize Jason Minix.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Good morning. Jason Minix here. What time is it?
Dude, you're a world class hero this morning when he got the call late last night as all of the flights were canceled for AJ. The reason being in his excuse, in his defense, his flight was coming through Houston. So it wasn't the Vegas.
Well, I mean, you would think. I mean, it's not like we haven't heard about this damn hurricane for a week.
I mean,
if you do a morning show, that maybe you don't take the last flight out of Las Vegas. Maybe you go, hurricane's coming, to Houston. That could be a problem. Let me call the airline and make some adjustments.
I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge a man's decisions. All I can do is bear witness to the outcome. And that outcome is he ain't here. You had to set an alarm, and we're going to have a fine Monday.
We are going to have a fine Monday.
In response to in his absence. So we'll do our very best at 9:30 to get you through the lines.
Well, if AJ's in Vegas, can he at least call in? I know
maybe we'll wake
7:30 in the morning there.
No, yeah, and keep in mind, he got to see his fam. So, it didn't happen. So he's there, and we expect him back tomorrow full force. We'll cover all the things that need to be covered. The Spurs stayed pretty damn busy. Wasn't Lalari Markkinen. Wasn't even a Kevin Huerter. We had a bunch of Harrison name tags made up. And you know how hard it is to find a Harrison? So when one came available, we took him.
Another one.
So we got two of them. We got the price break with all the Harrisons, and we decided we'd go get him. Short-term deal for an adult in the room. This is what we got. We got us a 3-year-old 75,000-mile Honda Accord. What we got us. We got us a car that's going to last us for another 4 or 5 years if we want it. It's going to be a good car. Good car. It's not the one the kids want to drive, but it's going to be a good car. It's not going to break down.
Though, when you have young kids and you're worried about them wrapping around a pole,
you get them.
There's hit the tree, you'll be okay.
Solid foundation of a vehicle, the kind that you have with family.
Mm-hmm.
Not a minivan. It's not one of those. It's a serviceable. Trust me, I drive an Accord. I know exactly what we have. We got them that. We got some picks. We'll look at
more picks.
Yeah, more picks are worth more than people now, man. We'll look at the vast accumulation of picks, where we sit with Harrison Barnes. What do we expect? We'll wave goodbye to Devontae Graham, and look forward to, I guess, a fun summer league season. Although the weekend, woo,
Well,
if you're in it to win it, this weekend wasn't for you.
well, and see, in this way, you hear things like it doesn't matter about the final score. It's did you see what you wanted on the court from certain people? Because on the court, it looked like the Spurs early last year during the regular season. Getting blown out, make it interesting late, and get blown out. But
we're good at that.
But you saw some stuff from Steph Castle that you go, okay. Yeah. And one of those things is a couple of deep threes, no hesitation. All the worry about his shot. His passing ability is solid. I mean, there were some things in that game that you go, okay, that you can don't worry about the final score. Winning doesn't matter here in the summer league.
What kind of matters, right?
No,
I mean, come on. No. You're right. And to watch, it's just so hard for me to watch because I get it. You're trying. When you have to make a decision, you need to make the decision that's in your favor. You're trying to make a team or at least make a splash. I get it, but my gosh, I hate watching showcase basketball. I just do. It's no good for anybody. And you see these guys and you miscalculate how good or how bad they really are because of the situation they find themselves. So it's impossible to give a grade just on what you see in the game. It's breaking down the film. And I liked what I saw from Castle. Wish I'd seen more. I'll give you that. But yeah, he controlled the flow, hit the threes. We'll talk about what we saw. The coaches, you always look at the bench and see, what's the future Spurs. Some of these guys going to be around for a minute or two. And who are these guys?
Well, our coaching staff, I mean, the kid's 19 or looks 19. But in reality, what's interesting, and what a great story.
Yeah.
It started in the film room. Where have you heard that before when it comes to the Spurs?
Everybody's dream.
But they're all getting opportunity because the regular Spurs staff that would normally be coaching summer league are doing Olympic things, either with Team USA or Australia or
all over the world. Yeah.
Like, hey, anybody available? Who? All right, you're going to Vegas or no? Yeah, you're going to Sacramento and then Las Vegas. Coach the summer league. Why the hell not?
And which leaves the door open for this. I think it's interesting to see. Were you surprised that Pop was in Vegas?
Was he in Vegas?
Yeah, he's in Vegas.
Well, Team USA is there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in Vegas.
Spurs are in Sacramento.
But,
he was the old coach.
Yeah, now is this a portent of things to come? Is where I'm getting at.
No,
because Grant Hill runs the USA basketball right now.
Correct.
Right? Yes.
And Steve Kerr is the head coach.
Right.
I don't know if Pop is on the staff.
He's not officially on the staff.
I mean, what else is he going to do?
No, I get it. But I mean he was, there is Steph Castle playing in Sacramento. There is that.
I don't think he goes to that.
No, I know.
I don't think. I mean, you'll see him next week. I'm sure he was watching the games, and Pop in Vegas for this. And I know maybe we look at Pop a little bit different because of his age and his status, right? And he was the coach, and now he's not the coach. But at the same time, you get the basketball world together. It's a convention. No different than a Final Four when all the college basketball coaches show up.
I get it.
And so there's great restaurants. There's great meals to be had. And all the players are there. That dude's recruiting.
I hope. Or are they recruiting him? Is what I was getting at. Is this a portent of his future endeavors once he decides to?
We've been talking about Greg Popovich and when is he going to be done with the Spurs for, I don't know, 10 years? Legitimately 10 years. I think, the old saying that he had is I'm leaving when Tim does. And I think that was probably had a lot of truth to it until his wife passed, and that changed all his plans. He's showing no signs of slowing down, and now you add a Wemby into the mix.
Well, I agree.
Why would you? He could run USA basketball and run the Spurs and I don't know, pick another one, a winery. I think there's all kinds of things that are possible there. But at his age, I don't know. I really don't know that he will, once he's done with the Spurs, run USA basketball. In fact, I don't know that he'll ever actually leave the Spurs. He might not coach,
right?
But he'll stay as president of basketball operations or whatever the title is.
But Grant Hill is not, I mean, they got a young man to take this for the next 25 years, I think was the plan with Grant. But it just, I found it, but, you know, we got this brand new draft pick playing in Sacramento. You got a 19-year-old kid running the side. He's not 19, but it certainly looked like it. Maybe Pop's sitting on the 8th row with his legs crossed, just kind of paying attention and coaching his coach. You know, those little things that you like to see.
If you are from Sacramento, I don't want to offend you here, but if you had your option of a place to spend a weekend, would you rather be in Sacramento or would you rather be in Las Vegas? If the Spurs were in the California Classic in San Francisco, maybe Pop does end up in San Francisco.
Bar right across the street from the Sacramento gym? There's one like right at that corner.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of them. Buffalo Wild Wings.
No. There's a good one. Or am I thinking Utah?
Well, Utah's got a couple. There's the Beer Hive, which is one of my favorite places in Salt Lake.
There is a decent place in Sacramento,
but I'm sure there is.
You're just a little south.
I'm sure there is. I remember Chris Webber could have run for their Chamber of Commerce with all the great things he said about that. I'll learn more about Sacramento today because that's where Reinigle spent the weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. That was going to be the transition, and we'll find out more about Sacramento from Joe Reinigle, who seems to be traveling the world and staying on the western part of the United States at the same time.
You know, it's crazy. In all fairness to Joe, his wife Maggie, her son and daughter are expecting their first child. So there was a baby shower this weekend that Joe was required to attend.
Well, I mean, we've all been there.
Not yet.
No, not for our own. But we've all been dragged to something that we really didn't feel like was necessary.
Yeah, and the fact that she is a pilot in the Coast Guard, which is why they live near Sacramento. Yeah.
I don't get it.
What don't you get?
Sacramento's not even close to the water.
They live about an hour from Sacramento in Auburn, California.
Oh, okay. Is that closer to the water? Or
I have no idea. But I know she's a pilot in the Coast Guard.
In the Coast Guard.
And sure.
Hey, who am I to question?
Yeah.
I mean, just a short flight.
Yeah.
From wherever he might be, but you'd think it might be kind of near. You'd like even smell salt water.
Well, you maybe. You know, those coasties don't get the near cool base assignments as Navy guys.
They have a uniform, and every time you see him walking with the president carrying that football thing, you're like, what branch of service is that guy? Looks like he's in the Italian Air Force.
Space Force.
It's Space Cadets. Let's talk some Spurs coming back. Of course, we'll have 4th of July hijinks, what you do, what you eat. Mine was the least successful weekend of grilling I believe I've ever had. I ate good, thanks to other folks. You always had fantastic food. Your ribs look spectacular.
Thank you.
As always. And we need to discuss your new toy, which I showed that to my wife, and she just like, yeah, you think you're going to get that?
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are.
My great fear is I get that thing, and the next thing you know, I'm being interviewed by CNN going, all I did was pull the trigger. I don't know. I let the trigger, and next thing you know, 1,000 acres burned
what
down.
I got, what I thought I were getting are two different things, and I'm excited about it.
I hope the Spurs are as hot as the thing that Minnick's got to play with this weekend. That's a tease, we call that in the radio. Coming back, let's look at the wild weekend the Spurs had that ended up like a nice bowl of oatmeal. This is the Morning Huddle. He's Jason Minnick's in for AJ. I'm Rob. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Do summer projects your way with 4th of July savings from the Home Depot. With free delivery on over 2 million items, you can make the most of summer grilling and dig into gardening. Plus, get same-day delivery on thousands of products like power tools and storage to tackle any last-minute garage project. Summer your way with 4th of July savings from the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
You know, living here in San Antonio in South Texas, a water softener is almost a requirement. The water is hard. You know this. It affects your appliances and all of that kind of stuff. And the best water softener to buy is a Connecticut quality water softener. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. They're made in America, up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Got a simple design, fewer moving parts, and the best thing about it is there's nothing to plug in. There won't be an increase in your electric bill. Connecticut quality water softeners are the best in the business, and right now they have got the best deal for you. Connecticut is going to let you try a quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Call them today. 656-PURE. That's 656-7873 or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. Connecticut, the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Hey, gather round. It is the Morning Huddle. AJ Hoffman in the hole today. Travel issues. We can blame Beryl, that bee. We have landfall?
Yes.
Is she a Texas citizen as we speak?
We I got up early enough this morning to watch a little bit of news and see all the reporters that are outside in the rain.
The mandatory stand out in the rain shot.
Matagorda Bay, Freeport area, Port O'Connor, they're getting hammered. Looks like, from what I could tell this morning, like Corpus, Port Aransas, Rockport, that area kind of avoided the mess. One of the best memes I saw this weekend, yesterday, when it looked like it was coming right towards Corpus and in that Rockport area, and then it took that hard right. Best meme I saw is even the hurricane doesn't want to mess with I-35.
Truer statements never said it. Man, I was so excited. I was kind of looking forward to a couple of rainy days.
Yeah.
It's been a rather rainy early part of the summer, I felt like.
Yeah.
I haven't had to water too much. It's getting a little dry, though.
Yeah, it is getting dry.
As is our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, this kind of leads into the Spurs weekend. It was eventful. I don't think we'll look back in the history of the Spurs and go, this was the turning point. I think we could have. When we last spoke on Wednesday of last week, Lauri Markkanen was in everybody's sights, and things were just kind of heating up. And by Friday, it was at a fever pitch. I thought it was going to happen.
When I came to work Friday, day after the holiday, I really anticipated, like, when it was like, all right, you're the only guy working this week. But it's fine, because I really thought we'd have something to talk about.
I even thought, well, weird, and it's not worst case. Secondary case is DeMar could end up here by that point. So
which I was not a fan of. I expected something.
I wouldn't have been horribly upset, but at least it was a move. And I thought, well, the Spurs are in play. And when I come back and we gather together again on the huddle, we will have a firm, like, we'll be 80% home. If Markkanen would have come in and they'd had to do what it would have cost, The Spurs would have been about 80% done in the rebuild if they'd have done something like that. And that would, to me, would have been, wow, did they fast forward? And then it went from that to, Kevin Herter. You're like, or Keegan Murray was even a name kind of bouncing around there once or twice, which I didn't buy. But I'm just saying there were names floating around that kept telling me something's about to happen.
What happened in typical Spurs fashion isn't what you were hearing about prior to. I thought the trade that sent DeMar DeRozan to Sacramento and fantastic by the Spurs because they get yet another unprotected pick swap in 2031. But you still have Brandon Ingram out there, whose name is being associated with.
Oh, no.
You still, I would rather have Brandon Ingram than I would, say, DeMar DeRozan. Although getting a Harrison, I think, kind of eliminates that.
Yep.
And Lauri Markkanen is still very much in play.
You think he's still available? I think that they want something that the Spurs won't give up.
If Utah wants to part ways with Lauri Markkanen, but there's a couple of things in play with the Lauri Markkanen deal that really you get into the weeds, and this could go on for several weeks. The one, Lauri Markkanen kind of has to agree to it. Now, even though he doesn't have a no trade clause, nobody is giving up the assets that Danny Ainge wants without an agreement on a contract extension. So if you're not giving up those kind of assets for a 1-year rental because he does have 1 year left on his deal.
Absolutely agree with this. Yes.
In August, he's due for an extension or eligible for an extension with Utah. They can pay him the most money. Problem there, though, is if he signs August 6th, which is the day he's eligible for that, he can't get traded for 6 months. The trade deadline happens to be February 6th. Mm-hmm. So and who knows what the landscape is going to look like then, or do they trade him in something right before that with all the different weird NBA rules that most of us don't get? And even some of the national writers that you read, whether you're talking about a Lowe or a Mark Stein, they all kind of touch on it, but from a very different angle. There's ways that it can get done in August where he can get paid and get moved, but also can he, or does it got to wait till the trade deadline to be able to max his salary? And again, it all comes back to, is he willing to sign an extension with the team that he is being traded for? If he gets signed by Utah to the extension, apparently he can't get traded until the trade deadline in February, I think.
It makes sense. But it would also make sense if this was gone completely, like that. The Markkanen thing is dead in the water because, as Jacob Eric said on the Brigade Bar, that Utah is asking for one of those draft picks that the Spurs are just refusing to give up. Like, there is one thing that we are not going to do, and that is to give up that Atlanta pick.
Yep.
I mean, that it goes without any saying. The conversation stops the moment you ask us for that, because that's the one thing, other than Wemby, we ain't giving you. And I would like to think they're doing that with their own pick, that there are two things that we ain't giving you. Now, we'll give you a lot. We'll give you future consideration. But next year, that draft is so deep, and we have the potential to do the kind of, rookie quarterback situation where we have 3 superstars under first-year deals that we cannot forget or forget any kind of debt. And that deal with Harrison, Sacramento they owe us. We just put Sacramento firmly into the playoff argument, like high playoff argument with this deal. If the Spurs hadn't stepped in, there's no DeMar in Sacramento. And Sacramento got a guy that fits exactly what they need.
Well,
man, oh man, we facilitated a nice deal for Sacramento.
We did, and we got an unprotected pick swap from those guys in 2031.
2031.
I'm not sure what the hell the Bulls are doing in that thing.
They're melting down. That's why that pick suddenly got so much less valuable. That pick that we have from the Bulls that's protected 1 through 10, that's its top 10 pick. That pick lost its value the moment that deal happened, which made those other 2 picks that much more valuable.
I was trying to figure out, and I don't know if you're allowed to do this, why did the Spurs didn't get them to drop the protection part on that deal to make that trade? But either way,
they're fighting for playoffs when we make that deal. It felt like they're probably not going to be in the top 10 no matter what. I'd have probably made the same deal. I didn't think they'd melt down the way they did. Certainly didn't think DeMar would be traded.
But I look at getting Harrison, and getting another vet player that fills a role. He feels like he's your typical Spur kind of veteran player. Chris Paul, by the way, they made that official.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
That is a done deal. No weird stuff.
Did they give him his number? Did he get 3?
Well, no, because Keldon is still.
Well, I
here.
wasn't sure if there was a purchase or maybe a car or something involved.
You wonder. See, it looks like DeJounte is going to keep number 5 in New Orleans because he tweeted out something about whoever had 5 is a real one, right?
Yeah.
If you're Keldon Johnson, and you've got years left on your deal with the Spurs, and you wore number 3 in college, number 3 is your number 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's his number, and deservedly so.
And Chris Paul's here for a year. I CP 43, CP 63, over under on games he's going to play. What 33? I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know if I'm Keldon. I'm not giving up that number.
I just thought, there's a price though. Everything's got a price.
Everything's got a price. But
car.
I mean, Chris Paul was going to make $30 million this year. Now he's going to make 11, although he gets to live in Texas, so that's a little bit tax friendlier. But how much of that 11 million are you giving up for a number for a year?
I mean, it's not like it would hurt him. I'm just, everything's for sale. And if I was Keldon, I'd have a little for sale sign involved, some kind of foreign supercar. Maybe
how does it work in the
maybe a break on my insurance?
How does it work in the NBA with, like in the NFL, if you change numbers, you have to buy out the inventory of,
I'm sure,
right? Well, there's a lot of Keldon inventory out there.
Yeah, not as much as there was.
There's still,
but there's still a fair amount.
There's a lot there. Well, I mean, I look at like the deal he has over there in China.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a very popular current player.
You don't have to buy that.
Why not?
Yeah, that's China.
I mean, the jokes, if you still have a Brandon Paul jersey, you're already set.
Don't you wish that we could have had that at some point? Somebody's going to have one
at
the bottom of their drawer and go, I knew it.
Yeah, Brandon,
I knew it. I told you Paul was going to be
Brandon
good.
is going to be the guy.
How
his
long
family.
ago was that? That was about 6 years ago?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, we thought
before
there was
Keldon.
potential there.
Sure.
Okay, so there is still some there as far as potential for activity because they're going to have to move at least one more deal currently. We have too many guys under contract, right? I think there's one, and it's going to come down to and Mamu. They got a lot of dudes play the same position, by the way.
Well, and I do think there could be more than one deal in the works.
I think so.
I mean, you look at this current Spurs team. When you look at the 2 additions they made with some veteran guys, even on depth charts already, they got Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul in the starting lineup with Vic Jeremy and Devin Vassell. I find that interesting on the ESPN.com current Spurs depth chart. There's still room to make some moves, which I'd be down with. And I don't know that the Lauri Markkanen deal is dead. I think it's going to get quiet for a while because the 2 things in play with Lauri Markkanen, all the weird dates, contract crap that they have to deal with.
But he could agree right now to the extension.
He could, but then Danny Ainge, dealing with Danny Ainge, who never seems to sell short. And
yeah,
I mean, when you get two franchises, 2 front offices that typically don't lose deals. Like you look at this deal the Spurs did this weekend and you go, how in the hell did they do that? And Chicago, what are you thinking? I saw Mike Finger from the Express News tweet a theory out responding to some national guy saying the theory is in the Spurs front office where they don't ever fire anybody. You don't have a guy that's trying to make a move to save his job for the right now. And who cares about a 2031 pick? I'll be fired long before that comes into play.
That's
right. That's not the case in San Antonio. So Brian Wright, Pop, and RC can make these moves, collecting all these picks that are going to be extremely valuable when Victor is in his prime. I mean, 2031 seems so far away, right?
It's he'll be starting his third contract by then.
But I mean,
that's superstar time.
But think about he'll be 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, that's superstar
right?
time.
So it's brilliance by the Spurs.
But I want to continue talking about this. At what point, as a Spur fan, should we start demanding? I mean, they ask for a lot of patience from us.
They have.
I mean, we have to, continue to be patient. At what point do we start swinging for the fences?
I have a theory about that, and we will get into that coming up on how fast the Spurs need to get winning again.
We'll talk about that. And by the way, Dak put away that walking boot. Don't worry about that. It just flares up every time he goes deep sea fishing. Nothing to see here. This is the Morning Huddle. You're on 94.1. This is San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on the Blitz, we'll have the latest NBA rumors, especially those involving the San Antonio Spurs. And we've had our first look at Steph Castle in a silver and black uniform. How's Summer League going? 2 games in. Plus, we'll talk some college football with Taylor McCarg. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B today.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The wait is over. Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15, powered by Intel Core processors. The XPS 15 brings you the perfect balance of power and portability, plus stellar visuals and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
All the jokes about LeBron sleeping with his teammate's mom. Wow.
Wait a minute. What? Who'd LeBron sleep with?
His teammate's mother.
Oh, you did?
Well, yes.
Ronnie's teammate's mother.
LeBron is sleeping with his teammate's mother. It's not that hard to figure out,
No,
Joe.
I'm trying to, whose teammate are we talking about?
Bronny and LeBron are teammates.
Okay.
LeBron is sleeping with his teammate's mother.
You know, at this point, he still doesn't get it. I get you. Okay, all right.
It wasn't that hard to figure out.
I thought we had a spectacle going on here.
That took way too long to put together. It really did.
I'm like, oh, man.
Sometimes, Ryan Nagel.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yeah, you're not supposed to talk over there like that. But
what?
That bit, and that wasn't a bit.
No.
You and Joe the other day, the whole city was like, "You're kidding me, right, Joe?" For like 3 minutes, the whole city was like, "He's kidding, right?"
No,
he doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it.
I was like gripping my steering wheel, like, "Oh my God,
come on, Joe!"
he doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it.
And even after you told him, he went. You could still tell if it was one of those cartoons. It
was trying to add 2 + 2 on his hand.
There was a thought bubble that was empty with like question marks on top of his head the whole time. His eyes crossed.
See what I deal with every day, 2 to 6.
He was, he was really hoping. Like, you mean he's sleeping with Anthony Davis's wife? That's kind of where Joe was. Hey, welcome back to the Morning Huddle. If you're looking for AJ, he ain't here. He's somewhere between here and Vegas. Hurricane Beryl got in his way. Convenient, some would say. But, who am I to say? We expect him back. In his stead, Jason Minix was a team player sacrificing his body and his sleep for the Morning Huddle. Welcome in, good sir. This is twice in just a couple of weeks. Well, yeah, at the very least. I noticed you didn't touch my bag of salsa.
What bag of salsa?
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't even see it,
dude. I ordered 6 tacos. Palenque, man. You can cut your taco prices by about half if you'll ease up on the salsa. I ordered 6 tacos. I got like 9 salsas in a bag.
Well, it's the grab and go. Whether you order 1 taco or 40, you get that same bag of salsa.
You could probably cut this grab and go bag in half and maybe call Bill Miller's and say, you know what? No, what we're doing now is we're upping our size. Bill's on the other side. Have you been to Bill's in the last week and a half?
Bill Miller? No.
At some point, man. Lower your prices or stop making your food smaller.
Wait, what?
The boxes, everything you get is little. You used to go and get a Bill's taco, and they would use like an ice cream scoop or like a shovel for the size of the tacos. Now they're using like a little third cup, little ladle, little tiny thing for tacos are a third the size. Come on now.
There are some places that are very, normally you get a good breakfast taco. And they're wrapped in foil, and you can just tell what they are by touching them. Like, for example, you got 2 tacos for me today. One of them I thought, I got me a bean and cheese. I open it up, and it's egg and potato. There is no way egg and potato should be that flat. No way. No way.
Right.
It should be that flat by feel. I thought I was going to open up and I'm good at that. Like, oh, yeah, that's that. That's this. That. Nope. Not happening.
All we're asking, just charge a little more or charge a little less, but get what we pay for.
Well, I mean, they're charging more and giving less.
That's what do one or the other, but don't do that. Don't just give me less and act like nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We just get mad at it, and is that a segue? Don't give me less and act like nothing's happening. So here sit the Spurs over this hot weekend of expectations. You got Stephen Castle playing over on the West Coast. And by the way, the numbers didn't show it, but he's the best guy on the court.
Yep.
I mean, here's a good way. As we head into the summer league, how do you judge this? Because score obviously is not how you judge it. Judge the pace of the game when the player that controls the ball is in. So when Stephen is in, does it appear like he is playing at the speed that he wants to play? And is he forcing the game to play at that rate? Or is he adjusting to the rate of the game? As soon as he started. I didn't watch the second game. I don't even know if he played in the second game.
He did not play last night. Typical Spurs.
Yeah.
He played a game. Rest.
But there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that need time.
Yeah, you got 5 games, man. Rest.
And some of these guys are trying to get a job. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was in against the Charlottes, the game went at his speed. He controlled it. He went where he wanted to go. He did what he wanted to do. He didn't hit every shot, but everything went in the flow. Dude, you look like the best guy on the court. If we didn't see you again till training camp, no one would be upset other than me as fan who wants to see my new prized toy. But yeah, he showed me in the first 8 minutes. You can just tell this guy is a pro and will be right on schedule without any bumps. You know what I mean?
The 2 threes that he hit,
smooth inflow, whack,
and I think because the knock on him coming out of UConn was he can't shoot. Now, like there was a soundbite from Avery Johnson the other day where he's like his mechanics are bad. Now I hadn't heard that from anybody except Avery Johnson, but here's a guy that played, he coached. All right, so you're telling me mechanics are bad.
A little of a sway.
I get Hurley saying, well, he wasn't asked to shoot in our UConn system because we didn't need him to. Can he shoot? And what we saw the other day is he certainly wasn't afraid to shoot. He wasn't afraid to take that 3. That one in the second half, then in transition, just is smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, So the idea that, all right, he can probably shoot a lot better than we give him credit for coming out of UConn. Obviously, he needs to get better at it, but it's not as rough or non-existent as we were led to believe.
Yeah, that again, college threes. All you need is more opportunities for him. He was not the best 3-point shooter on his team, but he had two dudes that are legitimate 3-point shooters on that roster. So that's not going to be a worry. I mean, that's not. But the Harrison deal.
Which Harrison? we got to be careful here.
But I was trying to figure, was he an opportunity or was he a target?
Ingram?
Yeah. No, Barnes. Was Barnes an opportunity that arose, or was he a target all along?
Maybe a little bit of both. And I'll say it that way. Probably when you think about getting Harrison Barnes from Sacramento, what he did for the Kings, hell, what he did for the Golden State Warriors when he won a championship with them. He's that role player glue kind of guy, which San Antonio seems to covet. San Antonio, I don't see this front office saying, well, we just got a phone call. Let's see if we can make this work. If they didn't like the guy, if they weren't already looking at him, I don't see this trade coming together as quickly as it seemed to come together.
Yeah, I think this was.
Was it a priority target? Maybe not. But, man, if we could figure out a way, that'd sure be nice. Maybe one of those kind of targets, because he does fill a role which the Chris Paul signing, the move for Harrison Barnes, tells me maybe the Spurs are rebuilding at a little bit quicker pace. They got the guy they wanted in the draft in Castle. They've got some parts that can teach this young core in Devin and Victor how to win, how to be pros.
Mm-hmm.
Will they be a playoff team next year? Probably not. Maybe
not be.
Maybe pushing play in, which is why I think they will not part with Atlanta's pick, because their pick might not be as valuable, even though, what do they have, 4 first-rounders next year? So other moves could be made, except for they don't expect the Spurs pick to be a lottery pick. That's why they have to hang on to Atlanta's pick.
Well, they could make it a lottery pick. That's the one thing they have absolute control of.
Yeah.
And it might not be a lot of balls of their own, but they can make that a pick. And that's why they do need to be within earshot of the play-in. They got to be. If I was to prescribe what I want from the Spurs as a insider, as a more than a fan, as if I worked there, but as I want as a fan, are very different things, because I felt a little let down.
What do you mean?
Because
let down with what?
They did again the right thing. What happened over the weekend was indeed the right thing for the long-term rebuild. It was. It's hard to argue. It seemed planned, which I'm happy with, if that was their plan, that to bring in a guy to mentor and still has enough in his bag to still play. He can obviously going to be a starter. And you think of the number of guys that do what he does on this roster, from our own second-round pick, the second-round pick Sissoko last year, Jeremy Sohan, who's still going to be asked to do a lot of this Harrison Barnes kind of stuff. So he's there to mentor and to teach, and also provides a fair amount. But it is, without question, the absolute safest, surest thing that the Spurs could have done this weekend. I mean, while Wemby provides this long runway of success, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, and you're still going to do really well with Wemby. They have still not swung for the fences, not gone for something that could be great, like Lowry Markkanen, or even, I don't think that DeMar was ever part of the Spurs plans, but he was being mentioned in there. They are not going to do anything to sacrifice next year.
Well, they're not
the draft picks. No matter what, they're not going to give up. At least one of those is going to be in the top 10 picks. They're going to have the lottery balls to go get one of the 4 guys that they obviously have their eyes on.
Now, when you look at it next year, the 2025 draft, the Spurs have their pick, obviously. Chicago's first-round pick, but it's protected 1 through 10. And Atlanta's first-round pick, which is
gold.
Unprotected.
Gold.
That's right, and that's what they're not going to part with. Adding in Chris Paul on a 1-year deal, the trade for Harrison Barnes, none of the moves that they've made this offseason affects future goals, future plans.
Short term.
Well, future. I mean, but they're short term. Did we get better? Yes. Did we get better without compromising the work we're looking at 25 and beyond? And the answer is no. Now, you asked earlier about patience. Now, the Spurs fan in me, I'm tired of being patient.
I mean, we're looking at 35 to 40 games. That's what we're looking at.
I want to win now. The business side of me understands what the Spurs are doing, but I know that we keep hearing about the new Wemby Center downtown, and we've heard that there's been non-disclosure agreements and all that kind of stuff about that 1 point whatever billion dollars. If you're coming to me as a taxpayer, and I'm not, the answer is yes. We're all going to vote yes for the building, right? We all agree on that. We all agree.
Right? We're going to write the check.
We don't want to become El Paso, so yeah, we're gonna write the check. Well, the Express News this weekend takes it even further with something that is being dubbed Project Marvel.
I love it.
With this new entertainment center. How quickly are they going to be good again? Look at the timeline of this, because when they come ask us as taxpayers for money, they better be a winning basketball team.
There we go. Project Marvel. Will the superheroes help build what could be an extraordinary downtown destination? The Spurs and the billions coming up next. This is the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Summer's greatest hits are going on now, and Macy's One-Day Sale has summer's greatest savings. Shop limited time specials like 40 to 60% off everything for this weekend's Backyard Bash. From the Cellar Barbecue, Henkel's, and Tupperware. 40 to 70% off fine jewelry from Effie, Levion, and more. And 30 to 55% off bras, pajamas, and more basics. Hurry in. Our one-day sale starts Tuesday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is great because you're rarely rewarded for just being you. Ever get rewarded for being left-handed? No. You get to use weird scissors. Your reward for being a Capricorn? Cold birthdays that conflict with the holidays. And your reward for quickly responding to every work email? More emails. But with Snapshot, even left-handed Capricorns with proper email etiquette could get rewarded for good driving. So download the Progressive app today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. You know, summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Morning Huddle. Also, we do geography here.
Apparently, I'm learning things.
For those of you that have been paying attention to the Euros, which I have,
explain what the Euros are.
It's the European Cup. It's the all the Premier Leaguers and Bundesligas and Serie A. I got all those right.
Sure.
All go home to their paid countries. I didn't know Switzerland had so many black players. I didn't know the Swiss had that many, but evidently, you can buy citizenship.
Sure.
But they all, go back and play for their own country. And for those of us that are on like the morning shift, lots of our brigade bar, I assume are, it's the perfect thing. We get home about 10:30, 11. It's like watching the playoffs at 11. I mean, you got blood and guts, country versus country semifinals going on over the weekend. Get to pick it up again tomorrow.
I've known you, Rob Thompson, a long time. And on all this time, I've tried to convert you into watching hockey, and you won't do it.
Well, if it was on at 11 o'clock in the...
You won't watch hockey because you tell me your brain can't just process adding another sport in there. And now you're going to tell me you've become a soccer fan. Now, I've got a theory, because you said the games come on at 11. You go home. Now, the brigade bar people, and I recognize a lot of names that are making comments on the YouTube channel that I also see in the afternoon, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So they don't get to go home and watch soccer at 11 a.m. like you do, sir. They work all day or watch us all day.
They're looking at a screen.
We appreciate you, especially all of you guys that are watching and paying attention all day, every day. We certainly appreciate that. But you're going home looking for a nap. And you got your choice between probably an NCIS type rerun or watching soccer.
But see, here's the difference.
And so are you watching soccer or are you napping
I can
soccer?
Nap during soccer and not miss much. I mean, I can go to sleep during the first at like 20 minutes, which I'll never get used to counting up as opposed to counting down.
Okay.
I'll never understand how you can have any kind of athletic endeavor where no one knows when it's going to finish. There's a certain amount of crazy fun to it, but there's a certain amount of this nebulous, I'm an American, I need to know where the finish line is kind of thing. And when you watch the end of soccer, you know what I'm talking about when the ref has all the extra time.
Injury time, yeah.
And you only the ref and somebody somewhere knows, and you're just like, is it about to run out? Do we have any idea?
Well,
we don't.
There's people on each team that are also calculating. They're going,
they
we're going to get an extra 4.
But as fans, you kind of
random guess.
And there's some kind of thrill to it. But as an American who's grown up with, I know where the deadline is. When it stripes 0, that's it. We're not going to add anymore.
We know, like baseball. You don't know when that's going to end.
That's different.
Oh,
I mean, we know next pitch could do it, but this one, it could be like I might be getting ready to score, and you blow the whistle. Like
they're not going to blow the whistle if you're ready to score.
Oh yeah, they will. I watched it happen.
They'll let it play out till there's a change of possession, and all right, we're done.
That's when that's when you go like, did the clock just run out? Did you let them shoot because it might make for a better game? It's this
I'm with
this
you.
vague European commie kind of thing.
Yeah.
But apart from
rules,
you don't have to pay as close attention. I mean, you can play your games. You can be on the social medias and still enjoy a good soccer game. There's something to it's a cross between baseball and football. I mean, football, you can't take and basketball and hockey, you can't quite take your eyes off ever, because you'll miss something. And baseball, where you can kind of look down and, like F1 or Daytona, you can kind of not pay attention, not miss much.
And again, you could take a nap
and wake up and it's still
scoreless.
You
could leave, go get a double cheeseburger, come back, and you've either haven't missed anything or you've missed everything.
But back to the Euros, man. I've gotten down to PKs and 0-0 with.
I see. As much
we had
as
a bicycle kick to win a quarterfinal from a Brit. We haven't seen that since Pele. It was ridiculous.
0-0, or do you call that a scoreless draw? It's supposed to be 0. You don't say 0-0. It's just scoreless. You don't say 0-0.
Well,
or
see,
nothing.
That's the
nothing.
ugly American.
See, you got to learn this. I mean, you were telling me during the break. Apparently, the country of Turkey has changed its name. Now, I've been to Turkey. I didn't get a memo about this. Is who?
Turkey. Turkey is how you say it. Turkiye.
Why
they took the EY away?
Why?
I didn't know this had happened.
They didn't want to be associated with Thanksgiving anymore?
Maybe that's part of it. You know, they have a president there named Erdogan who's been kind of, he's a nationalist kind of guy. So maybe he decided to kind of change.
Did they changed their flag too?
I don't think they changed the flag, but evidently they changed the. I guess we should go and check what Wikipedia has, because that's really the
Vic, will you check
the record of
the country of Turkey?
Just Wikipedia Turkey.
I know there's
Turkey.
a lot of
Does it come
people
up as
listening
Turkey?
that has spent time while in the military in Turkey.
Insular.
I mean, you think about the
I've
air
been
base there, their Navy base. There's all kinds of stuff. It's still spelled Turkey on Wiki.
No, Turkiye. What are you talking about?
Turkey, officially the Republic of Turkey.
Ain't a bunch of Turkeys here.
Yeah, sure.
We're almost to football season, and the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback was seen in a boot over the last 4 days.
Relax.
He has some splaining to do. Hey, let's talk some Cowboys around the bend. This is the Huddle.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Mission Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
I always do my best to prep for summer, but sometimes things just come up. And when they do, Kohl's and their great prices are always there for me. I just shopped their summer cyber sale and saved big on everything I was missing, like summer must-haves under $15, floor care essentials for 50% off, and kitchen appliances for 30% off. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. So no matter what happens the rest of the summer, I'll be ready. Thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, or online at TriCountyMeat.com.
Summer's greatest hits are going on now, and Macy's one-day sale has summer's greatest savings. Shop limited time specials like 40 to 60% off everything for this weekend's backyard bash. From the Cellar Barbecue, Henkel's, and Tupperware, 40 to 70% off fine jewelry from Effie, Levion, and more, and 30 to 55% off bras, pajamas, and more basics. Hurry in. Our one-day sale starts Tuesday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs made a splash over the weekend as the third team in a 3-team trade that landed DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento from the Bulls, as San Antonio got veteran forward Harrison Barnes and an unprotected 2031 pick in this trade. To make room, they traded guard Devontae Graham and a second-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, gather around. There is a bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. No, I'm not AJ Hoffman. AJ is marooned in Las Vegas. I don't know how you managed that, but he did. See, the hurricane, it came right at Vegas and gave it a little sham god and gave it a little hezzy, and then went right at Houston and kept AJ at his house. Poor bastard.
Yeah, it's only the hottest day ever in Las Vegas.
I was there a couple years back when it hit like 112. What are they looking at today?
119, 120.
Yowza! It's a drive.
Can you tell the difference? Can you tell the difference?
I think you can.
I mean, I'm seriously. If one now, granted, he lives in Vegas, so he's doing things like we would. I'm in Vegas. It's 115. I don't give a damn. I ain't going outside.
That's
right.
Well, you got a kid that's in that kind of baked
land
anyway.
In Phoenix, it's different. And
is it different than Vegas?
I don't know.
Feels like
I mean, it's dry heat.
110.
Dry heat, right? I know we're going to Vegas in August. Can't wait for that.
Well, let's talk about
Circa
that.
Las Vegas.
That's where we're headed.
I hope
so
it's 100 degrees.
I need someone to explain to me
what do you need?
The why I have to go to play this Circa Survivor and the Circa Million. I have to be there to start the process.
You have to register in Nevada.
Okay, so that's why I have to go. But because the numbers on this, it's I'm not saying it's hard to lose money, but it seems, looking at this, how hard is it to lose money?
Well, I mean, which game are you looking at?
Well,
let's talk Circa Million.
The million,
right? So, and if you go to sasportstar.com,
which I recommend going,
there's a
because
link there
it's
where
got
it
all you
explains
need.
the rules. But Circa Million is, you enter in Nevada, you can play anywhere. Every week during the NFL season, you pick 5 games against the spread, any 5 games. And at the end of the year, the best record, you're good. And there's all kinds of other prizes in there.
There's a lot of other prizes.
There are a lot of other prizes in there. A lot of ways for you to win some money. Now, I will tell you, it's hard to pick 5 games against the spread every week and go 5-0.
3,
right?
That I know every
3.
week that I'm going to be comfortable with. It's the other 2 that I got to find.
Right. So, I mean, and that's it. And then the way I understand it, at the end of the year, best records is how it wins. But obviously, if you go 5-0 a couple of times, you're going to have a really good opportunity.
So I don't. Is there weekly payouts on this?
I don't know.
I think there are.
And I know there's some things quarterly. I don't know. And then the Survivor League is exactly what it is. That's
Survivor League. I'm awful at. I've never been. I can't. I'm not good.
I know.
I'm always out like.
I was talking to my
3.
guy at the Circa, and I was, we were talking about this, and he's like, are you? And I was like, I'd probably get 2 entries into the million.
It always happens.
As opposed to 1 entry in each, but I am going to play. Now, if you're going to Vegas this week, next week, whenever, you can register at any point at Circa for these contests through the beginning of September.
Right.
We are going out there for what they're calling the Ultimate Sports Weekend, where they're doing a big sign up. It's the weekend before college football season kicks off in earnest. Preseason will have happened, and there's going to be celebrities there. There's going to be, they're doing this whole day deal where all kinds of people are there. If you want to learn from like professional bettors and tips and things to look at, and get some good Vegas insight from Derek Stevens, who owns Circa, Mike Palm, who is the director of operations, and other big name guys. And I don't know what all celebrities are going to be there. Hell, when we were out there for opening day of Major League Baseball, it was Frank Thomas and Greg Maddux. And then they're just hanging out drinking with you, which is cool. It's going to be a fun time.
That is August the 22nd through the 25th. SASportsStar.com for all the deets. It's going to be fun. And it looks like it'd be worth the trip alone to go get in on this million thing.
And who the hell cares if it's hot? That pool is great, and the casino's got air conditioning.
That's why you go.
Yeah.
That's why we go. As far as what I'm going to put my money on, what I saw on, what was that, Wednesday? The quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys walking around in a boot for no apparent reason 3 weeks before training camp.
Here we go.
What are the optics?
He's fine.
The optics, though. Why? Why did I have to see that? You could have hidden that. It's like you get a facelift, you go away for a little while, and you just come back looking a little different.
Dude was in Mexico. He thought he was away in the paparazzi type picture that was taken of him. He's walking on a pier in a boat,
limping down a pier.
The tweet comes out in Spanish. None of us know. And everybody's texting. You don't respond to texts on a day off, so I don't know what your
I saw it.
Your
That's
text
why I went
message
and looked at it.
Looked like. So Friday on the Blitz had Clarence Hill Jr. on. Now, a couple of things. One, you're Dak Prescott. You're on vacation in Mexico. Why are you texting Clarence back? But he did.
See?
And he's like, there's nothing to see here. And he texted Clarence, and what Clarence told us on the Blitz and what he has reported in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, since that gruesome ankle injury that Rob Thompson witnessed.
I heard.
He's
not witnessed. I even heard it.
He's does the boot as maintenance when he does stuff. So apparently last time he went deep sea fishing, his ankle swelled on him. So in preparation for that, and I could see that if you've done deep sea fishing, you're on a boat, you're the leg power trying to reel in a big old fish, just precaution. And it's not unusual. This as a basketball player, that you see a lot of athletes wearing walking boots like that.
No, I don't. No, I've not just seen somebody strap on a walking boot just because something might swell up. I've never seen that before.
Joe and I were doing an event last year, and Frank Harris shows up, and he's in a walking boot. And he even told us, this is just precaution. Now, I mean, Frank's dealt with his stuff. He's like, I'm going to be fine Saturday. And he played. He practiced that week, but outside of practice, he was wearing this boot.
So you're telling me, as a quarter,
the next day there's photos of him walking, and there's damage control.
Yes,
and they're calling themselves the Boot Brothers, right? That was damage control. Nothing to see here, nothing to worry about.
So you want $45 million a year?
No, I want 60.
Okay, you want $60 million a year, and your ankle can't handle a fishing trip. You're telling me you want $50 million over 3 minimum, $150 million guaranteed, and one of your ankles can't handle a day on a boat?
It's possible.
That's the optics of this were not good.
You're overreacting.
Well, I'm not. Well, if he just had to come to work like us and sit on his ass and do a radio show, yeah, I'd be overreacting. But you're telling me that you want $180 million guaranteed over 3 years.
Yes.
On an ankle that cannot stay unswollen after a fishing trip.
Yep. But boss, I'm doing everything I can. I bring my boot on vacation.
Maybe don't go fishing.
Well, there's that. He didn't post any photos of his catch.
Dude, I'd have shown him running up and down the dock the next day. That just seems absolutely typical.
I will admit I was extremely alarmed. And when I heard the maintenance issues, I texted a doctor friend of mine and said, "Is this BS or not?" And he was like, "No, that's pretty normal."
Okay.
In part of the now, this is a doctor friend that has never seen Dak Prescott as a patient, but the commonality of a boot like that as preventative is there. If what I was told by a doctor, like you'll see certain runners, people that just do marathons or whatever. If they have any kind of pain, there's a lot of times they will do that as part of their normal recovery. I was like, I've never heard this before. He's like, it's very common. And I was like, all right.
So what are we, 3 weeks out?
We're 3 weeks out.
We leave
today is the 8th. We leave in 3 weeks.
3 weeks
Ron,
from right now.
We're going to LA in 3 weeks for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage.
Everybody's getting back from vacation about now.
Yeah.
All the Cowboy types. I've seen Joe Trahan running with the Bulls.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see him. I texted him yesterday. Cowboys PR guy literally yesterday did the running with the Bulls. And I was like, dude, I see before pictures, I see after pictures. Where's the videos from the middle? And his response was, I didn't want to die. He said, I should have brought a GoPro for that.
My son ran with him last year. And
that's right.
And he has the video that it's pretty ridiculous. There's kind of this strata of people that run, and you don't want to be the first one into the arena.
Really?
Because the idea is, you're out in the street, they let the Bulls go, and then everybody runs to the arena where the Bulls are going to be fought, for lack of a better term. And if you're the first ones in, they make fun of you. You run in and they call you cowards. Like, cause you never saw a bull. They blew the whistle and you ran in, and you get cheers the closer you are to the Bulls when they all run it together. I wonder where Trahan was on this little run, little jaunt.
Well, just his photos, it doesn't look like he was first. I was like, no video during the run. His response, you can, but you're asking for injury or death, was too focused on the run. Saw 2 people get hot. Many lost pups because of that, whatever that means. Which I'm guessing he probably
you're gonna
be sober for
that.
that.
Or the blood of the bull before you get going.
But that will be a conversation over beers when we get to Oxnard. This is great rudder room material, right?
So what I'm getting at is all the NFL right now is on vacation.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's gone. So I don't expect a lot of things to happen between now and Monday of next week. Next Monday, the NFL season starts in earnest. Everybody going to be back at work. They're going to be 2 weeks away from training camp. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. But, as far as anything else maintenance-wise inside the building, no, we're not going to see much happen. But when they do get back to work, what do you think the first thing that occurs coming out of the Star? I don't foresee anything happening with CD. I think that this is going to go into training camp, and it's going to last a couple of weeks. Am I wrong there?
No, I do think CD will get a deal before the start of the season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The question with CD Lamb, how much can he afford to miss camp? And I say that because the fines, they can't make go away.
But the money he's talking about, you'll have it to pay. I mean, we're talking about $30 a year. You're probably going to have a little bit to pay your $250,000, $300,000 bill.
But then you look at, I don't think Micah Parsons will hold out, although
No.
there are some suggesting that he should. Although you talk about getting bad advice. You wait, it's going to be more next year.
Yeah, I don't foresee that.
No matter when he signs, he's going to be the highest paid defensive
it
player.
would be silly to push it now because of the escalating value. Okay, so now those are the two. So there's the money question. The boot aside, I make fun of something that's silly, but the fact remains that Dak is without a contract, and unless he gets it on his birthday, which
July
is, if you were
29th.
asking me when is he going to get paid, if he's going to get paid, I will say if it doesn't happen by about 4:00 Pacific time on July the 29th, it ain't happening. It ain't happening until the end of the year.
Well, I think if he doesn't have one at the start of the season, he will hit free agency.
Yes, it ain't happening.
Which is why I think Dak will get one before the start of the season. His birthday just seems like a great day to do it. They always celebrate it out there, blah, blah, blah. Remember that year he was on the Blitz right after he got cake in the face on his birthday? And, we're doing the interview and he's wiping cake off. I could see, and that's a Jerry move. Do it at training camp.
We've seen big contracts signed that first week. Big deals. So it wouldn't shock. But I'll tell you, if we get past that day, man, I think everybody from him to us to Jerry are saying, you're going to have to show me. And the fact of the matter is you probably won't be back. You probably won't.
My guess, if I'm Dak and I start the year without a contract, and he's bet on himself before, so I think he would be comfortable doing that. Dak has got to be very comfortable right now knowing that he's going to make $60 million or more, whether it's from Dallas or somebody else. And there are a boatload of teams, 22, 24 teams probably, that Dak Prescott would be a major upgrade at their quarterback position, and they would appreciate having him there. I think Cowboy fans just want somebody else to be mad at. When you look at the numbers, the regular season numbers, and I know it's all about what do you do in the postseason, but winning in the postseason is not a requirement for a mega contract. Look at the top 10 paid quarterbacks. You got a Joe Burrow that's high up there. He's at least been to a Super Bowl. Jalen is middle, but 5-6 on the list.
Mm-hmm.
He's at least been to a Super Bowl. And you got Mahomes tied for 9th right now. Nobody else on that list has any more playoff success than Dak Prescott.
And I'd much prefer a very vindictive Dak this season. A guy that's playing for the big money and it ain't coming from Dallas than the kind of money or the kind of quarterback that plays with a newly minted $180 million
look at his
deal.
Stats from a year ago. The best in his career, second in MVP voting, in the first year under Mike McCarthy's system as OC. So if you're Dak, you get to the end of the year, regardless of how it ends, and Jerry offers you that money, do you say, well, hang on, Jerry, I'm going to test free agency? And I might, kind of, if you're watching Hard Knocks the end season, Saquon, go test the market and bring back your offer. We'll see if we can match it. If you're Dak, and it's your call, if you get to that point, why wouldn't you test free agency? Why wouldn't you see what else is out there? Which is why I think a deal will get done in August, because Jerry is facing the possibility of losing Dak and nothing in return. If
I think
do you trade him at this point? Sort of sign and trade? If
it's not possible, dude. He is leaving. It's going to be a Russell Wilson. He will be gone with no recompense, and everybody's going to look at it like it was a win. And one of them, either the Dak or the receiving team or the exiting team, is going to suffer for it.
Yeah, I just look at Dak Prescott right now is number 12 on the list of paid quarterbacks, tied with Daniel Jones. Josh Allen is 11. I expect his deal to get reworked soon. But when you look at Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson and Justin Herbert's the 4th highest paid quarterback. So as much as Cowboy fans want to bitch about what Dak hasn't done in the postseason, now the difference is those guys are on their first big contract. Dak is going for another one and still doesn't have any playoff success. But that is not a precursor to getting a ridiculous mega contract.
How was your 4th? What'd you grill? Did you see the dude that danced till his head blew off? Let's talk about the 4th in the past and Barrel as she interrupted some plans. How'd your 4th go? Hey, we're talking Dallas Cowboys as well. Did Dak sign? Will he sign? Why was he in a boot? look around the rest of the NFL. And Spurs got a couple of Harrisons. We'll figure out who's going to be the most Harrison of the Harrisons coming up next. Spurs talk as they were busy this week and around the bend. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters. And, hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Hey, it's the Morning Huddle. Happy Monday. Get back to work, you Americans. After 4 days off, you get to stimulate the economy and get busy. Though AJ Hoffman is not. He's in the hole. We'll blame Hurricane Barrel, or maybe he's just playing chess and the rest of us are playing checkers. And he managed to squeeze another day off.
Poor planning.
Coming back
part.
from
We'll blame that.
Las Vegas. And instead, that's Jason Minix pulling a double today. You get all the union.
Sure.
All the union dues. You get like triple time.
Oh, yeah.
Extra lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You get to retire like 3 days early.
You brought breakfast. That's all I got.
I did.
Thank you for that.
Well, I told you I would. That was a big. So we didn't find out this was happening until late yesterday. So you dove right in. I didn't expect you to, quite honestly. Now Joe Boo's back though, right?
Yes.
Ryan Eagle's back after his sojourn to California. You're the travelingest duo of all.
What do you mean?
I mean, both of you guys enjoy airports.
You know, at a state in life with being an empty nester.
Wow, it's great.
You can do that.
I'm envious.
Because I know, I've got New York in a couple of weeks.
Uh-huh. You're going to do, who's the show?
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters in New York and then go up near the Hamptons. Not quite to the Hamptons, but near the Hamptons.
What's that? What's near?
On Long Island, going out that way,
like all the way to Montauk, which is the end.
And I'm trying to think of Jones Beach. I think is where we're staying, somewhere in there, or Long
like,
Beach.
That's like the Hamptons Light.
Yeah, it's try finding a place.
That's multi-millions instead of billions
in the
basically.
Hamptons.
Yeah, that's billions there.
Yeah, Michael Rubin's place wasn't available, so Did
you set off any fireworks over the weekend?
I did not. I kind of had a lazy 4th of July because I had to work on Friday. So Wednesday night we actually went out. I went to one of the it was weird. It was dumb. This could have been anywhere, but it was a lot of fun kind of nights on Wednesday down at the Brass Monkey. So a friend of mine sends me a deal.
How's the Strip?
Strip is
now that
great. Now that the construction is done, you have to Uber because there's no place to park, which is fine because Uber anyway. But it was dad rock versus emo, and I thought it was going to be 2 live bands or a live band doing that. It was a DJ. Essentially, it was like at a club just playing rock music. So you could have done that in your living room. You could have done that off of your playlist. You could have done that anywhere. And then we ended up at the Amp Room, where they had a live band. And so Wednesday night, I really had no plans. And then you get home at 2:30 in the morning.
Right. Well, that's always the fun night.
And then I had to get up at 7 to start the ribs because I was just going to a buddy of mine, Andy's house, for a little pool party for the 4th of July, which I thought from his house you might be able to see fireworks from like Six Flags. You couldn't.
Really?
Although at that point, I don't know that I could have seen anything. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I wonder how much Beryl affected the coast.
I don't think at all. I mean, just based on some of the photos and from friends that were down at the coast, especially as it turned right. I mean, shark attacks are one thing.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah. And my neighbor, Hal, he got stung by a jellyfish.
So did Amy pee on it?
Well, she said she did. And she said she did.
I hope she did.
No,
I hope Hal.
Apparently vinegar and meat tenderizer worked. Somebody down there were like, oh, we got the jellyfish survival pack.
Well, I think there's 2 things to this. And it's not the pee. It's the warmth. Warm water helps to dissipate the poison.
Whatever.
I actually had a doctor tell us, like, it's the warmth is really the key here.
I just like the idea of Amy having to pee on
It's just the whole whole idea there. I had my first 4th without kids in 28 years.
Wow.
We had just adults, just the fam, and acted like we were 28 years younger.
That's perfect.
So we had about a 4 o'clock gathering of the semi-coherent, let's go get some fireworks.
Brilliant idea.
A bunch of...
You got all your fingers?
Oh, man. It's not so much my fingers, it's the amount of money that fireworks now cost.
Yeah.
I mean, when the 3 of us walked out, it didn't really register until the next day when I saw my credit card statement, and you're like, hundreds of dollars each. But man,
good time?
Again, I'm concerned with the level of firework that I'm able to buy. I've said this before, but I shouldn't have access to the things that I can get now.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to Vic, and Vic, his father, collects old fireworks.
What?
They'll save them from, he has fireworks from the 80s.
Why?
I don't know.
Where does he store them?
I had questions, but he said, if you compared the fireworks from the 80s and 90s to today, our average firecracker was bigger then. Like the average boom, the firecrackers were bigger. But I was like, but in retort, yeah, they were probably bigger, and you could buy cherry bombs back then, which were just like sawed off pieces of dynamite. But now those mortars, my God, for those who've ever set them off, and most of them have by now, it's legit military strength. Those things are just. I'm serious.
Now you realize the power they have, and again, to me the size of the box, how many's in there, and then the wrapping makes them fun and sellable, right? Whatever you want, they've got it,
and a package that's perfect to go.
Yes. So, but the stupidity of some people. Now, there's one guy who's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
And you and I were debating this because
you think that was real?
We talked about this Friday. I think this guy was trying to do something great for the gram. Look at me. I'm just going to hold the box over my head.
Well, he put it in his hat, right? Or was it a hat box?
Well, I think he just was trying to do good for the gram.
Well, if you're selling fireworks in a hat box that looks like a hat, we might have a discussion.
Well, I mean,
but he just was dancing his life away. I thought it was suicide.
See, and maybe what a way to go.
I mean, just kind of dancing around and
boom,
there you go.
Yeah,
Uncle Sam and his red, white, and blue regalia.
Way too much red.
You know, I had a phenomenal adult kind of 4th and 5th, but my grilling didn't go well. Despite best efforts, I ruined a brisket. I'm sorry, Tri-County. I ruined some good meat.
No,
I didn't. It got away from me. I tried to be I'm going to do it overnight. I got as lazy as I could be, and I paid the price. Not good.
You know, everybody that's done some grilling has had those moments, but part of your brisket was perfect.
Yeah, but if you have to carve away the edges to get to the good part, that's only going to be good for like 3 or 4 hours. It was, that's throwing away a lot of time and effort. And I cheated myself. I thought, briskets are now easy. I've got a Traeger. I follow this, I'm like, my ribs now, it's like clockwork. You just get to a point where you just know what you're doing. And I got out of practice with my brisket, and I think I left it out too long. It was at room temperature when I normally set it, when it's not quite room temperature, that, I probably set it out for 2 hours instead of the 6 that I did this time. So I think I started at a higher temperature. So I put it in, and, it's Traeger, so it has an alarm and all that, but I hadn't set the alarm for 150 to go off. I just set the temperature to stay at 150. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning after putting it on at 10. I thought, well, I'll just go look at it. And after like 5 hours, it was already at like 156 at 3 a.m. So I went ahead and wrapped it. Wake up again at 8, thinking, I put it up about 220 at that point. And I figure I'm going to get, I'll wake up and it'll be about at 185, 190. Maybe a stall has happened in the meantime. It's already at 207 at 8 o'clock in the morning, man. And I knew at that moment, well,
but it'd been on for 10 hours.
That's it.
I mean,
this is an 11.5-pound brisket that I got done. I think I might have a thermometer problem, a thermostat issue.
Maybe
because that.
But it's weird with briskets because they're all a little bit different, and you wrapped it probably a little too early.
I wrap it 150, dude. I always have.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, I'm like between 165 and 170. I want to get all the way through the stall to get that good bark.
So I wrap before. I that's just what I've done. I wrap it 150 to 155, preferably 150 if I get there, and then take it to 200 in the wrap. That's just kind of what I've done, and obviously what I did didn't work.
Man,
what do you guys brisket types? When do you wrap yours? At 165, 150? Am I too early? Maybe I'm too early.
I normally go 165.
Really?
170 because I've had
all the way to 170.
I've had because I want to get through the stall and get the good bark because those meat sweats are what's creating the bark. So if you wrap it too early, you're going to lose that.
But I'm on super smoke with the Traeger. It's not like it's not getting out. The bark was pretty good. I didn't feel bad about the bark when I wrapped it. But maybe I need to wait a little bit longer.
Ernest says always wrap at 165.
165.
But I make sure I'm through the stall more than anything. So I think you were probably wrapping a little too early.
Another at 165. I'm wrapping too early. Who'd have thought? Okay. Well, live and learn.
But well, hell, dude, you taught me. But well, that and Matt.
Too early.
So but you got to get through that stall first. But it almost sounds like your brisket just never hit a stall and just kept going.
Whatever it did.
And that happens. That can happen.
And then I thought, well, I'm going to salvage it.
So it was just too dry.
Yeah, it was too dry on the edges. It was, man. And, the other problem was I was hoping to have it ready by 2. My plan was to, pull it out, get it ready pull it out about 10:30, 11, put it in the cooler, pull it out 3 hours later, slice it, and it'll be a bit of heaven. No, I pulled out shoe leather and the decal was even. It just wasn't. So I thought, well, I'm going to salvage it and I'm going to make the best brisket mac and cheese that anybody has ever seen. I'm going to, the second game of a doubleheader, I got roped. I got run ruled in the first. I'm going to come back with my lead roll. So I went to the grocery store and I had pulled the recipe off of the inner tubes. And all I did was Googling world's best mac and cheese recipe. I never made it before. And I just got the recipes, and it had Gruyere cheese, had 3 kinds of cheeses. And I just walk up to the HEB cheese counter, and they've got all these cheeses in front of me. And I don't know. I'm not going to dig through all those. I go, I would like 2 pounds, 2 pounds of Gruyere. And the cheese girl goes, oh, it's just like, oh, yes, was overly excited.
We got a bonus.
Oh, so she went and cut the Gruyere, and I needed other stuff. So I'm not paying attention to how much stuff costs. I'm just asking for the cheese it says on the recipe. And I get the cheese, and it's got panko. It's got 3 kinds of cheese, 4 kinds of cheese. It looks like it's going to work out. By the time I check out, I'm at $75 for this brisket mac and cheese.
Could have got Velveeta.
Oh, my gosh. I should have got, yeah. So I get home thinking, well, I'm $75 in. This is going to be some fine mac and cheese. So I follow the recipe, and it's not a roux. It's a bechamel. You make a bechamel.
A bechamel.
Yes, you make a bechamel, which is start with cream and butter and flour, and it's kind of like a roux that you don't burn. You get there and you start adding the cheese, and then you're supposed to make enough of this kind of liquidy cheese sauce to dump over your freshly boiled pasta, and then you bake it.
Okay.
I didn't make enough of the sauce, so my mac and cheese was dry.
Well,
right
with your brisket.
Well, exactly. So you combine that with my dry brisket and my $75 worth of expensive cheese. This was like $130 failure.
Wow.
Over the week. My mac and cheese it had a great flavor, but it was dry. Like everybody was trying to be nice to me, like, oh, that's really good. It's really good. Pass the tea. You can tell when you've made stuff where everybody's trying to be nice to you. This is really, really good. Can you pass the salt?
Okay. It happens.
I ruined it. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not.
You admit it.
I've learned more. It's the failures.
Now, a lot of people are asking, as always, the $1 million question when it comes to briskets on our YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel and comment there.
Fat side up or down?
Fat side up or down?
It's down for me.
Down? See, I'm up.
Well, depends.
I want that fat to render down into the meat.
Agree. I agree. And there are, but in the Traeger, I have found fat side down to be better, at least on the way that my air circulates.
Okay.
The problem with what you do there, but I think I also trim a little bit too much fat off.
Well, that would explain dryness.
Yeah, but this one was already pre-trimmed. I had them do it for me.
Okay. Then it should have been perfect.
It should. I think my mistake was I'm accustomed to kind of being lazy and not pulling the meat out to go ahead and smoke until about 2 hours ahead of time, and just get it ready and then let it sit.
So you got too much of a head start.
And well, I think the meat starts cooler, which adds probably 2-3 hours to the cook. This time I thought I'm going to be quicker, so I had an expert trim it, and it looked perfectly trimmed. I'm not going to blame that. But I let it sit out a couple, like 3 or 4 hours longer than I normally do, because I started this thing at 10 o'clock at night, as opposed to like an 8 a.m. cook where I got up just in time to rub it and then throw it on.
Okay.
So I think that variation in internal temp sped my cooking time by about 2.5 to 3 hours.
It's possible.
And well, by the way, that I normally this to get to the internal, because that's where you get. And I think the stall happened quicker than I'm accustomed to. I think it was trim more than I'm accustomed to. I wasn't there to spray it, which I do tend to spray my briskets after a minute or two with the heavy smoke. I wasn't there to do any of that. So I slept through it and then didn't do a good job and paid the price.
One thing that will help for anybody with a pellet smoker or a Traeger pellet smoker, I have found that a water tray.
Right. No.
Did you have that?
And no, I didn't use that. And that's normally why the fat side is down with me. But if I'm going to have fat side up, I'll have the water tray underneath it. And I didn't do that. I went lazy. I deserve what I got. And then I thought I'd top it off with something. I thought I'd throw money at it. And it didn't work, much like the city of San Antonio is trying to throw money at something that is extraordinary. We talked about the pop potential, and we kind of kicked it down the road. It's called Project Marvel. We're going to tell you what that means. And are you ready to pay for it? We'll talk about that next. Go on 94.1.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, we'll have the latest NBA rumors, especially those involving the San Antonio Spurs. And we've had our first look at Steph Castle in a silver and black uniform. How's Summer League going? 2 games in. Plus, we'll talk some college football with Taylor McCarg. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Indianapolis Star. Do you remember Greg Doyle?
Yeah, the creepy guy.
For those that don't remember.
Hi, Caitlin. Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, I'll do this.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine.
According to longtime Indianapolis reporter Bob Kravitz, the Indy Star suspended Greg Doyle after that weird press conference.
I don't blame them. It went viral, as the kids say. So, I mean, everybody, it's like, dude, this guy's a creeper. Keep him away from Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
I like that you're here.
They're just that weird.
Just all of it.
I call her up Caitlin.
Oh, that was creepy.
I like that you're here.
You okay?
I'm great.
Are you sure?
Fine.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. AJ Hoffman in the hole. He'll be back tomorrow. In his place, superstar Jason Minix.
Yes,
the
sir.
Blitz.
What's up?
Working a double today.
Still running the Greg Doyle promos, huh?
It's funny. It's called Project Marvel. Spurs are in the business of making money, and they're about to come to us as taxpayers and ask us for about $1 billion, a little over $1 billion, give or take, to build a brand new stadium right downtown in that Confluence Park, that big, beautiful area up there that just continues to grow. Over the last 10 years, we've seen San Antonio grow the Apache Creek region. We know what the river's like. We know that getting the Spurs back into the downtown is a necessary part. We see the Missions have already kind of circled an area a little bit south of downtown. Looks like they might be building soon. And the stadium downtown would be fabulous. We know what we're doing. It would be great. But there is a plan in place called Project Marvel that is even bigger and more grandiose than I think even the wildest Spurs dreamers thought could be. A true entertainment destination like what we've seen at Frisco with the Star, kind of like what we've seen with the Mavericks, what they did downtown, where they got that row of bars, right? I forget what they call that district. And there's any number of NBA and baseball stadiums and NFL stadiums around the country that have this entertainment sports district that hosts bars and nightclubs and the games and everything in between. We always kind of assumed the Riverwalk would be that, but now there really looks like that's in the works.
When I look at this, and we've always, we talk about the Wemby Center and downtown, and you knew there would be bars and restaurants associated with it. And credit the Express News and their reporting on this Project Marble, because what you were thinking and what they are planning are two different things. What you were thinking is what they are planning on steroids, because based on this Express News article and all the non-disclosure agreements and whatnot, this seems so much bigger than what we originally thought. Now, reimagined Alamo Dome, and the Alamo Dome is still a very viable stadium.
We've sunk too much money in it now. We can't not have it.
And, whether there's a baseball stadium associated with it, who knows, because it does look like they're looking at an area by the old Fox Tech. But this, you go to any big city with sports, whether, obviously with my daughter in Phoenix, I'm out in Phoenix a lot. They've got two. The area out where the Coyotes used to play and where the football stadium is this incredible entertainment area. And they've got bars, restaurants. Tiger Woods' golf thing is I mean, they got so much out there. We go to Philadelphia a lot for the Army Navy game and what they have set up there. You look in Dallas, you mentioned Frisco. Go to a Cowboys or Rangers game, and it used to just be Texas Live. That was just the beginning.
Right.
And imagine something like that. And with what they've done in the construction area down there, this will be incredible for the city, not only for the new Wemby Center and making sure the Spurs are here for another at least 50 years, but we've got a Final Four here next year. And right now, we didn't make the cut for the next set around. So we've got the Final Four coming in 2025. You do something like this, and that means more Final Fours are coming and more major events. The other thing is you look at the college football playoff. What would a reimagined Alamo Dome mean for the Valero Alamo Bowl turning into one of those playoff games? Or, could we end up hosting a national championship game? Because we always get credit for having such a great walkable downtown area. And what they're talking about adds so much to that with the land bridge and the bars and the restaurants and the things to do, more hotels, all of that is a part of this Project Marvel, as the Express News reported
So how much
over
is
the
this going to
weekend.
cost?
$48.50. No, it's going to be expensive. And they're going to come to the taxpayers and ask for it. They're coming to the taxpayers for the Wemby Center regardless. And we will pony up. We might bitch, and there are going to be some people that bitch. It won't be an easy slam dunk, but the Spurs need to be winning when they start asking for the money. Although I say that, Jacksonville just ponied up a whole bunch of money to keep the Jaguars, a team that we all thought was destined for London. You look at what they did in Vegas for the baseball stadium. Look at winning. Does it matter? The Chiefs might move from the Missouri side to the Kansas side because the Missouri side said, you know what, we're not helping you with your stadium. They're not leaving the area. They're still going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. They're just changing states.
Well, we'll wait. I think there's a little leverage going on here.
Sure, but it does come with the territory.
Well, I don't think anybody will be upset when they come to us, but it's going to be more than $1 billion. We're talking $2 and $3 billion now. So the check's going to have to be a big one. And I don't expect the city's going to have to take on all of the role. There will be an expectation to take a fair amount of this private. And this is my question here. If you look at downtown now, and if you look at all of San Antonio, it's under complete construction. I mean, right now, looking at, adding more construction downtown to what is already going on. And keep in mind, this La Villita improvement plan that's been going on for God knows how long. At what point are they going to finish that up? I know, and that's just the city doing city things. And I get city doing city things, that just means delays. because, it just does. But now we're getting on to the point with what going on with La Villita and that whole area that should have been done a year ago, where we're getting to the point of incompetence, where we're beyond like the standard length of time. So what my fear is they come and say, okay, we're going to write this check for $1 billion. And the city goes, you know what? If we're going to tax pay it, we want to have control over it. And we try to keep too much control over it, which, you're going to get some return on your investment. And then we turn into something like what we're witnessing with the La Villita, this cluster of a mess, and this Alamo cluster of a mess. And I know there are reasons and excuses for both, but the more the city is involved with this, the more I'm worried. And this means we're going to have somebody of note, somebody of power to step in and go, I'm going to be on the side of this. And we don't have Red anymore. We don't have Red McCombs, who has the power to cut from here to Austin, to get whatever needs to be done, to get the permits, to get everything required to build in an old city and all the things that go on. We're going to have to see somebody like Graham Weston. We're going to need to have some of the money in San Antonio step forward and put their name on it and go, this is going to get done because my name is here. And if we're talking billions, so we're going to get to have somebody that has their name on it, and we're going to treat this like a business, and we're going to get it done. Or we're going to be messing with what we're dealing with down on the other part, La Villita, where we're still not done.
One of the things that I think, the money players that are involved, and I imagine they're the big ones that you're anticipating.
There's 15 dudes on the list that have local roots and the money to do it.
What I'm more, what's the word I'm looking for? Curious is how far along are they, and how far along will they be with Ron Nirenberg still our mayor? Because isn't he coming up on?
He's termed out. He's done.
He can't be mayor anymore because he's termed out. He is a very sports-minded, forward-thinking mayor. Regardless of what you think of him, he is definitely that. We've had mayors in the past that aren't. One of the guys that I know would be involved in this if he were still alive is Red McCombs, who said on this show many years ago, we'd have an NFL team if we didn't have a different mayor at one point who was more focused on soccer. That's what he said on the show. Who knows?
Ed.
Yeah. Wasn't going to throw him under the bus, but yeah, Ed Garza. You know, and Ed disputes that to a degree. So I look at it. Who's the leadership in charge when this is going to happen, and what's the focus? If the Spurs are involved, there is going to be a timeline on getting it done. So major delays, I think, would be avoided there because they have to get this done, as opposed to other projects that can sit and wait. We look at what they've done on Broadway and the number of businesses that haven't survived that construction nightmare. St. Mary's is finally open, and my goodness, go support those businesses on St. Mary's that have survived. I don't know that we're going to get that downtown because it's there. Now, immediately you see some reaction. Jack Vincent on our YouTube channel. Last thing I need to do is pay more taxes on something I can't afford and don't want to participate in. You know, that's life. And Jack, the idea of, can you afford to go to a Spurs game? I think it was Jerry Jones. Well, I know it was Jerry Jones. I'm trying to remember the stat. And he's used this before, and he's also used it on this show with me and you, Rob, when you were hosting the Blitz with me before you had to start waking up at this ungodly hour. But what did Jerry tell us? Was it 88%? Something like some ridiculous high number.
Saturation.
No, it's the percentage of people that actually go to games.
Yeah.
And a high percentage actually go that are fans. It's a TV sport. And Jack, you might not be able to go for a variety of reasons, but think about all the jobs that a stadium creates.
No, I get his point.
And this entertainment district. I get it. My kid's done with school. Your kids went to private school. You still pay taxes on things. You pay taxes on things that you don't use all the time.
52% of the people, 48, it's going to be a 52-48. And we need that. We need the people that like him. That's like, I don't need it, but if we are going to need it, I don't need people to be a watchdog on this kind of stuff. The nays are going to play a role in this no matter what happens.
Sure.
But I think we can go into this with the expectation that if presented right, if Wemby is doing the Wemby things and the Spurs are doing what we expect them to do, that it will be a fairly easy election. I mean, it'll only be 52, but that's a pretty good advantage to get in there. So the expectation is the money at some point will be available. But what we have to make sure, and I can't stress it enough, is that we have the people that are behind this, that there's when Jerry built that region, when Cuban was involved around his stadium, that's the new revenue part of sports that, as salary caps rise and all these other kind of things, there are other ways to make their money. But you have to have somebody who has a bottom line and a timeline, because the stadium's going to get built regardless. That's going to happen first, and everything else will follow. The stadium has to happen first. We have a deadline with that. We do. I mean, everything else can be fluid, and it might be Wemby's second contract when that's done. But that first contract, in about 3 years, we better have chalk on the ground and shovels ready to break in 3 years.
Yeah.
It better be a thing. And then 6 years from now, once that's done, there better be a process going, and we're in Wemby's second contract, and by the calendar and by the plans, as according to this weekend, that's the midst of the title run. We'll move in like the Warriors moved into their beautiful center after a title or two, but they still got more coming.
Well, and you think about the then SBC Center, that first title in 99 was in the Dome, and second title in 02 was at the AT&T Center. And keep in mind that it's 2024. When is the lease on that deal up? It'll be 30 years old in 30, 31, something like that.
We have the new building by 31.
Right. Oklahoma City's right now in a newer building than San Antonio, and they're already working on their next one.
Coming back, the Spurs were busy this weekend. Pick your favorite Harrison. 3 more coming. Spurs got busy. Were they busy enough? This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stuff.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
George gets justice. No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Living here in San Antonio and South Texas, a water softener is almost a requirement. The water is hard. You know this. It affects your appliances and all of that kind of stuff. And the best water softener to buy is a Connecticut quality water softener. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. They're made in America, up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Got a simple design, fewer moving parts, and the best thing about it is there's nothing to plug in. There won't be an increase in your electric bill. Connecticut quality water softeners are the best in the business, and right now they have got the best deal for you. Connecticut is going to let you try a quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Call them today. 656-PURE. That's 656-7873 or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. Connecticut, the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry, who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
94.1 FM. San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs made a splash over the weekend as the third team in a three-team trade that landed DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento from the Bulls, as San Antonio got veteran forward Harrison Barnes and an unprotected 2031 pick in this trade. To make room, they traded guard Devontae Graham and a second-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, gather around. We got a bunch to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. No, I'm not AJ Hoffman, though I'm much better looking.
Yes.
He is not here today. He will be back tomorrow. Hurricane barreled into Texas and precluded a flight route, we think. Did anybody actually check to see if his flight was canceled? Because it would have been the ideal opportunity to just go, can't make it, boss. Flight's canceled.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a level of trust that, the initial text from AJ is, I'm stranded.
At the
Where?
Admirals Club.
Right? And my first thought was, dude, you do a morning show. We've been talking about this hurricane coming for, about a week.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point did you think, well, my flight's through Houston. That's probably not going to happen. Let me change flights and get earlier since I do a morning show. If you're an afternoon guy, you can afford this.
You have a little bit of leeway.
A little delays or fly in the morning. But when you have to be to work at, 5 in the morning, that's not the case. So AJ's piss poor planning is why I'm up this early in the morning.
He knew that you are here as a backstop and a protector, and here you sit.
About to say words on the radio I'm not allowed to. Although, my goodness, now that we've got daylight and video of daylight for a storm that arrived overnight, I just retweeted at Jason Minix a video of a Bucky sign toppling over.
Tragedy.
I mean, I mean, that's Texan right there.
So-
I mean, seeing that beaver fall is quite the sight.
So it landed at Matagorda Bay last night, this morning.
Yeah, about between one and two,
and the light's coming up now. And this is like the big. This is like Super Bowl for the Cub reporter. That gets sent out to stand on the wharf in the rain to do the Jim Cantari impersonation.
Is he here?
He better be. This is Category 1, baby.
I mean, it's interesting looking at all the different memes. You know, whether HEB has just done this as part of their marketing, but their limits on cases of water and 2 briskets. Like, is that really a thing, or is that just them? Hey, we got a lot of briskets we need to sell before they go bad. Limit 2, subliminal. You're going to be without power and food for, cook a couple of briskets and you'll be fine when you have no power. Dude, and feed a lot of people.
I spent some time in Florida, and the grocery store chain there that everybody loves is called Publix.
Yeah,
and Publix would have hurricane packs.
Yeah,
that included just about everything you needed, including fireworks.
You
can get fireworks
and brisket.
Well, see, in Florida, you can buy your fireworks year round.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
Yeah, so
that's why you get so many videos from people in Florida.
You could use the fireworks to attack the hurricane, as it were. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see if it happened.
But we've got what do we have? Fox SA on, because 8:00 they're the only ones that are normally local at this point. In the videos that we're seeing coming in, the damage looks like you would think. And Houston apparently is without power right now, as they are just getting hammered in Houston.
Is now the bullseye of hurricanes. It doesn't matter from what angle hurricanes come now. They're always coming to Houston. Whether they come from the north side of the Gulf, south side over Veracruz or Cruz, or they're coming over the other way over Cuba, they're coming right.
Yeah,
Houston, baby.
Yeah, Houston, they're having some issues down along the coast. I've got a friend who has a home in Port O'Connor, and she's not there, but her neighbor who's riding out the storm is sending updates. So just making sure everything's all right down there.
Glad it ain't me. Hold on tight. We can over air all the way to Mathis. If you're taking your device, you're probably listening to us right now in your bathtub, somewhere in Surfside.
In a bathtub.
Well, I mean,
in Surfside.
Well, you figure. Doesn't look good. And we're not going to get anything.
You're a grown man. When was the last time you actually took a bath?
In a bath? In
a bathtub bath.
I've taken baths, just not in my house.
All right.
Neighbors.
Yeah. Go to the neighbor's house.
Bathtub, pool.
Yeah. I got you.
Really, really all the same. The Spurs, when did they announce this deal? Friday night?
What?
When did the Harrison Barnes deal get done? It's all kind of a blur.
It really is.
Saturday? Friday?
No, it had to be late Friday.
It was late Friday
into
Saturday.
No, it might have been Saturday night.
Okay.
Might have been Saturday night.
So when last we spoke, as we were breaking, at least for the morning huddle, you had some time on there on Friday. It was the Lauri Markkanen chase, and it seemed with every passing hour that the likelihood was more and more. And, my concern was don't give up too much, though. I'm in on this, and I'm in on it because I understand if you get this deal done, and you can walk into the offseason with a Lauri Markkanen and a Stefan Castle and a Victor Wembanyama, you're about 80% done in the rebuild. I mean, I'm not saying the expectation is 60 wins next year, but now you're into the pieces, parts, the things that fit kind of the rebuild, because you got your stars, you got your future, you got what you're chasing. But that didn't happen. And I understand why it didn't. You got too many picks. And I hope, don't you? I mean, the Atlanta pick is untouchable. Can we approach that as there ain't no way anybody going to get that?
Of the Atlanta unprotected first round pick is incredible.
Astronomical.
The other picks they have 3 next year. They got theirs, Atlanta's, and Chicago's, which is protected 1 through 10. So Atlanta's a lottery pick. And with what the Spurs have done, it doesn't look like the Spurs are going to be a lottery team.
So, brilliant move or boring?
Yes. Can it be both?
Yes.
It can be both. The move to get Harrison Barnes from Sacramento and helping facilitate that deal and get an unprotected pick from them in 2031, or an unprotected pick swap in 2031. You add in They've added in 2 veteran guys that seem to be as close to perfect fits as you can get.
Both ring holders, both without baggage.
Chris Paul's without a ring.
Well, yeah, I shouldn't say. You're right. One ring holder, one without baggage.
Which is the one surprise. Like a week ago when there was, the Spurs are interested in Chris Paul. I was like, well, sure. But why would Chris Paul be interested in the Spurs since he is at the point in his career where I figure he's going to be ring chasing? Now, there is a theory, and I'll credit Joe Reinagle, immediately thought he becomes a very tradable guy at the deadline to go to a team that's chasing a championship with his contract. And that might be it. And if you get, through February of his knowledge for Castle and Wemby, that's worthy. And maybe that was part of the agreement. Like, at the deadline, can you move me somewhere where I get a chance to go chase a ring? Because I did not think Chris Paul would choose San Antonio at this point. And number 3 is not available as of today. But I like the Harrison Barnes trade because that helps now without affecting any of their future plans. Money-wise, picks-wise, there's nothing in there that changes the course of what they might have been planning for 25 and beyond. It's a great move.
It is a solid, middle-of-the-road, do the right thing without, you limited the negatives to just about as small as you could get. There's just something about the move that is going to be so difficult to regulate, because this is what the Spurs are trying to do. They're trying to do what I did with my brisket.
Okay.
They're trying to do it by the numbers. They don't want to go too slow.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to go too fast. They want to put it at about 180 and keep the heat consistent but not too hot. They don't want to win too much next year because they want to use the lottery pick. The lottery pick is the value. I think not only do they not want to lose the Atlanta pick, but they see the one thing they can control, because Atlanta might trade Trae Young tomorrow and suddenly pick up 3 guys and make the playoffs. Who knows? Well, I don't know. I don't expect that to happen. But what I'm saying is they have absolutely no control with that pick. They can control where they are with their own pick. They have to be better for the fans, for Wemby, for the league, for everybody. They're probably under pretty strict orders. Every time you're on national TV, Wemby has to play, and there has to be a valiant effort to win. I mean, we can't have Wemby losing on national TV all the time. We need to have the next guy winning, and by just improvement, we expect that. But they can't get too good. So they have to regulate the heat like a brisket. And, man, if it gets too hot or it gets too cold, this whole thing goes to hell. I mean, they seem to be doing it all right. But I was really hoping that we had decided we were going to fast forward this thing and went into last week and going, there's only one thing for sure, is we're going to have 2 number 1 draft picks next year. We're going to have 2. We're going to have ours, and we're going to have Atlanta's. Now, that Chicago one, I'm more than happy to move. I'll trade it. It's protected. I expect they're going to be a top 10 pick. I'll trade that one if you want a number 1. Everybody to the right of Victor's available, but those are the 2 things we cannot move. And it appears they've stuck by their guns. But, man, I feel like they went and got a good, solid, middle-of-the-road, mom and dad Chevy Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
Just, no flash. It's going to last you for a couple years. It's got good trade-in value. It's already, that initial loss is already gone. It's going to hold its value for a year. It's a 200,000-mile car, and you got yourself a freshly minted 75,000-mile brand new Harrison Barnes, lightly used, driven on the weekends, knows what it's like to drive fast, got himself a ring, so it's been on a track, done 120. But for the most part, it's not going to break down.
He's got sport mode, but you're normally going in the conservative mode. I'm
It just felt like
I'm with you there. The Spurs, I think, are better next year. Maybe they're going to be around 500. And if they're better than that, nothing wrong. They don't feel that far away with some of these moves. And they haven't even really started playing yet because of all the picks and the 25 draft and the free agency.
But if we'd have gotten Markkanen, we could have gone in and go, you know what, next year, we need to go get 50 wins.
Markkanen isn't done.
So there's the
deal.
Next. Okay, so Markkanen's not done.
Until he's either off the trade market officially or he ends up somewhere else, Lauri Markkanen is in play. And none of these moves would suggest that the Spurs have given up on the idea of Lauri Markkanen, who they wanted a couple of years ago and they still want now. There's some contract language apparently in August when he can sign with Utah, though if he does, I've read that he can't get traded for 6 months because you know how those deals do, because he doesn't have an expiring deal. And the other part of it is you're not trading any assets for Lauri Markkanen without a long-term extension to go along with it. So there might be some timing issues of when they can do that through all the NBA BS that most of us are unaware of. Now you look at the Atlanta pick, which is why it is so valuable. And I see the president of the James Pledger fan club on our YouTube channel talking about, are you listening to Extra Innings with Pledge? The idea that you don't know how good Atlanta is going to be since they still have Trae Young. They had Trae Young and DeJounte Murray last year and were 10 games under 500.
Yeah, they should be terrible.
Right? And they want to be terrible.
Not anymore.
Well,
now there's no benefit to being terrible.
Well, because they've got that lottery pick. The idea that Atlanta might be pretty good next year, sure. Or they might be really bad next year, which is why you can't afford to give up that pick because it is unprotected.
Out of my cold, dead hand. The Atlanta pick, it just feels imminent to be a top 4 pick. That's going to have enough ping pong balls there that they'll be even worse than the Spurs. That Spurs pick, at the very least, they can control it. They can go in and have, 8 lottery balls as opposed to 20. But, they could still be there. But that Atlanta pick just feels like something you cannot move unless, of course, you get the Lauri Markkanen. And then you go, well, I get it. If you did it, you're telling me you're swinging for the fences. We've got the pick we were going to try to get next year, because I think at the end of the day, what Cooper Flagg might turn out to be will be Lauri Markkanen. I mean, if the ideal guy gets the contract, the max dude moves on, you're getting Cooper Flagg 4 or 6 years later with Lauri Markkanen. So if you're aiming for Cooper, you already got him, and that kind of thing. If that's the chase to get a 7-foot wing guy that can bound it, shoot a 3, and do all the stuff that the number 1 supposed pick next year can do, you could have gotten it. And I would have been okay moving one of those picks, not both, but one of them, and some talent. And they didn't do it. And at some point,
it's not over yet. I mean,
I know, but it feels like it was about 70% possible on Friday, and now it feels about 30%. Yeah, it's likely, or it's possible, but is it likely? No, I think the flame is out, and this opportunity was missed.
I'm not ready to go there yet. Just knowing that August, there's some key dates involving Lauri Markkanen in Utah. Miguel Martinez on the YouTube channel says, why not use Harrison Barnes to sweeten a Markkanen deal?
I think that was probably attempted. I think that was already tried.
Again, when I look at the stuff in August that Lauri Markkanen has to deal with, or Utah does, makes me wonder if this is something that just because of calendar.
But we know the max that Utah can pay him. That number is available to all of us. We know that if Utah decides to give him the max, the dollar amount's pretty much set. And we could say, we'll pay him that. Lauri, we'll pay you that. We'll pay you. Let Utah sign you. We'll let them sign you. That's how it has to work. And then in August, when you can trade us before the league. And let's just go with it.
There's something about if he signs with Utah, they can't trade him for 6 months.
And that's
the trade deadline.
I would be willing to wait. And maybe that's the plan. We will see it happen.
Just have a deal in place and ready to go.
And I know we can't talk about it.
This is your brisket, man. If you're looking, you ain't cooking, man. Keep that lid closed and let it go. Because your brisket, as they're pointing out on the YouTube, your failed brisket this year is really bothering you, and everything's kind of coming back to it.
But you do have to regulate the heat here, because you want to be just good enough without Markkanen. Just if you don't make that deal with Harrison, you need to be eyeball 38 wins, 36 wins, right in there, that sweet spot of we're within smelling distance of the play-in when NBA TV and ESPN and Amazon come calling for the game, the national games in a couple years. Or, well, they're not doing it next year, but when the TNT final run with those guys in April, we're a team that's being shown because they might make it. That's what but we don't want to. We want to be right there, but not there. You got to regulate your temperature and keep it dead on, because if you're wrong either direction, it foils up all these other plans that you've made.
Well, see, and the Spurs aren't going to do that. I feel like the Spurs have gone a little bit faster this offseason because of how Wemby looked at the end of last year,
which is
without messing up any of those future plans that we kept hearing about. This is, how did Brian Wright put it? They were going to be cautiously aggressive. And this is a definition of cautiously aggressive. They've made some really nice moves that don't mess up any of their future plans.
You say cautiously aggressive. I say aggressively cautious.
Well, I'm just, isn't that the term Brian Wright used?
Well, yeah.
That wasn't my term.
No, but I think he
his.
should have said they tried so hard to be cautious. It's the other way around.
Yeah. Now, I see Paul Garcia, who does stuff for Project Spurs, tweet out, per Real GM, the Spurs did renounce the free agent cap holds of Osman and Barlow.
Not surprising.
No.
I know Barlow had been mentioned.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean Mamu's safe, but at least now he sits comfortable.
Yeah,
along
Mamu
with David Duke Jr., who is David Duke Jr. is a question mark that I'm very eager to see how this plays out through the spring league. Through Vegas, because he's the one guy, if he plays well enough, will make the team.
And you mentioned Vegas. Team USA is in Vegas right now. Greg Popovich is in Vegas. And some dude named Cooper is also in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Did you see the highlights there?
I mean, you wonder why is Pop in Vegas this week and not
Hey, let's
recruiting.
Let's talk about why Pop is in Vegas. Team USA is there. Anthony Edwards, the future king of the NBA, says, yeah, I'm a team guy, but you better fit with me. Wait till you hear what Edwards has to say as Team USA prepares for the Olympiad in Paris. We're talking hoops. Don't forget, though, NFL's just around the corner, and the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys was seen in a walking boot last week. We'll talk about that, too. Hang on tight. This is the Morning Huddle, and we're giving away Eclipse tickets when we get back from break on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, we'll have the latest NBA rumors, especially those involving the San Antonio Spurs. And we've had our first look at Steph Castle in a silver and black uniform. How's Summer League going? 2 games in. Plus, we'll talk some college football with Taylor McCarg. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters. And, hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationship with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep,
brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. You know, summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
All the jokes about LeBron sleeping with his teammate's mom. Wow.
Wait a minute. What? Who'd LeBron sleep with?
His teammate's mother.
Oh, you did?
Well, yes.
Ronnie's teammate's mother.
LeBron is sleeping with his teammate's mother. It's not that hard to figure out,
No,
Joe.
I'm trying to. Whose teammate are we talking about?
Bronny and LeBron are teammates.
Okay.
LeBron is sleeping with his teammate's mother. He is sleeping with Bronny's mother.
I get you. Okay, all right.
It wasn't that hard to figure out.
I thought we had a spectacle going on here.
That took way too long to put together. It really did.
I'm like, oh, man.
Sometimes, Ryan Nagel.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
Indeed, showtime. Ryan Eagle. It was like Abbott Costello. Like, who's on first? I don't know. That's third base.
What I deal with from 2 to 6.
That is the Blitz, and you recognize that voice. That's Jason Minix. He's in for AJ today. AJ traveling through Barrel. Well, not even traveling, just watching Barrel through and traveling post Barrel. He'll be here tomorrow. Marooned somewhere between his home and it's Ed Reed Airport now, right? What's the name of that airport? Not McCarran.
I don't know.
I think it's Ed Reed.
The Vegas airport.
It's the Vegas.
No, the question, did you talk to him at all yesterday?
Not fit. We texted.
All right.
Yeah.
Because the text I got is I'm stranded.
Well, see,
so
he first
was he
texted about
stranded? Did he sleep in his own bed last night?
He went to the airport.
Okay.
And at that point, he found out that his flight he was going to have a layover in Houston. And
an idiot doesn't book a direct flight to Vegas.
I don't know.
All
it
right.
seems like he's playing chess when we're playing checkers. Seems like this worked out entirely in his favor. It's not like he was stuck in an airport someplace.
He didn't sleep in an airport last night, but I'm stranded.
But the poor guy is stranded at home at the home island there in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
If he has a chance today before his flight leaves, he could walk over probably to McCarran and watch the Team USA. The Thomas and Mack. I'm probably practicing Thomas and Mack.
Yeah.
Greg Popovich is there.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching this team. I saw a couple highlights of the FIBA. They've got all the FIBA guys, all the Team USA guys there, not just the Olympic team, but the young guys that are scrimmaging. Saw Cooper Flagg, the presumed number 1 pick there, looking good. I'm sure Pop is, discussing, talking, looking, but he tells us he really doesn't pay that much attention to the team. But this team, this will be the last time half this team goes to the Olympics. But this truly is the end of an era. We are an old basketball team. It should be, they're going to be up there to win it. But when you think of the transition and the next star on the team, Anthony Edwards, is, we expect him to show out. But you had the sound, Edwin, of him saying, I'm the man you kind of got to adjust to me.
I'm still the number 1 option. Yeah. Y'all might look at it differently. I don't look at it no differently. Yeah. I just go out there and be myself, shoot my shots, play defense, and, they got to fit in and play around me. That's how I feel. Yeah.
You think LeBron or Durant or Kawhi or Tatum or Embiid or Davis or Adebayo might have Curry might question whether It's his scheme. He is the scheme.
You know, you're representing Team USA. You got a room full of all-stars, a room full of egos. And I wonder if that is something that Steve Kerr did not say in some sort of meeting. There is a changing of the guard, knowing that all those other guys have been there, done that. And as leaders, they can handle it.
You don't have a problem with it?
I don't have a problem with it. I would have more of a problem if he was just like, I'm just hoping that they throw me the ball and let me sit with the adults. I mean, because he is. I think he's in some ways speaking the truth and parroting it. You know, when he's out there, is he going to be the number one option? I think in team basketball, then, you know, the best option is there, but it does sound like, you know, hearing that, are they going to run things through him?
I can't imagine a scenario where that's the case. I really can't. I mean, again, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, LeBron James, Kevin Durant,
yep,
Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis. All of those guys are going to think they should get the ball and do the things before Anthony Edwards is.
But all those guys know how to be good teammates and will get assist numbers. I mean, honestly, I look at that and, you know, there is a bravado that comes with it. If you hear it again, I mean, but he's probably already been told he's the future. I mean, if you listen to it again, the idea of what he actually says is pretty telling, which tells me, hearing him do interviews all year and all that kind of stuff, this seems like something that's coming straight out of a meeting.
I'm still the number one option. Yeah, I mean, y'all might look at it differently. I don't look at it no differently. Yeah. I just go out there and be myself, shoot my shots, play defense, and, you know, they got to fit in to play around me. That's how I feel.
They got to fit in to play around me. That's the part that I was like, really? You said that?
Yep.
But for the most part, what he said, I think is true. But Steph Curry would probably say the same thing. They gotta fit in around me. All of them are there. It's kind of what you expect when you put all the egos in one room chasing a championship, as opposed to just an all-star game where, you know, it doesn't really mean anything.
So we've got Pop is working with Team USA. We got other coaches coaching elsewhere around the world. I'm trying to figure out why, when I watch my Spurs play, that I don't recognize this kid that's standing on the sidelines. This is because international basketball, we got coaches all over the place, right?
The video coordinator guy that's coaching the Spurs, who's like 31. But most of the other, well, he's been with the team since he was 20. He's a long vet. But so many of the Spurs staffers are either with Team USA or with another team right now doing Olympic stuff. So, you know, Junior here was the only one available to
Kenny Trevino
to go coach the team, and he's got a great story. It's one that we've heard before when it comes to San Antonio. He wants to be a coach, video coordinator, getting an opportunity. Looks 19, 20 years old. Go have fun. But I'm not surprised Pop isn't there babysitting him. I mean, I think, was Pop in Vegas last year for Wemby?
Yes. Late, I believe.
All right, but there were some other, like, I don't recall. I don't pay enough attention to Summer League normally, but I don't think Pop normally goes.
No, I don't. But normally the first chair does.
Well, yeah, but they're busy.
So, I mean,
they're busy.
I mean, Stefan Castle just got to, hey, coach, I'm over here. Coach. I know I'm not Wemby, and I know you'd rather go talk to next year's draft class, but, you know, I'm here in Sacramento.
Wait till this group gets to Vegas. I mean, Trevino, I'm sure he gets carded everywhere he goes.
Where the league begins today. They're in Vegas starting today. Not the Spurs, but the game starts today
in Vegas.
I believe it's.
I think California goes another.
Oh no, they're still in Cali.
Yeah, they're still in California, and then towards the weekend,
12th, I think
they'll get going in Vegas.
With the expectation that we'll see Castle for a game, and then they'll shut him down like they do every year. Do we want him to win?
Castle?
Are we chasing this victory?
No. No.
I didn't think that.
Have you seen this team play? In 2 games, they're not winning anything. We got another, I don't know, who are we playing tomorrow? Is it a team from China?
Yeah, I know that Team China's in this little round robin in Sacramento.
So maybe. I mean,
hope they brought that 7'4", 17-year-old girl that China. Have you seen the video of her?
No.
There's an 18-year-old Chinese brand new professional. She's 7'3". Her first game had like 40 and 20.
Really?
It's a sight to see.
Okay.
So here's the Spurs schedule. They got China tomorrow. That's on NBA TV on at 7:00, and then they hit Vegas. Their first game will be on the Saturday the 13th against Portland. A little Scoot Henderson action. See if he'll be playing. And then Atlanta, that'll be interesting. New Orleans, and then Philadelphia in the round robin play that will round up on the 19th, and then on to the playoffs. Just season up those Spurs.
There you go. On the playoffs.
I mean, that's their version of the playoffs.
They're not. They'll be done July 19th.
Devontae Graham was nice knowing you. Remember, he had a game winner.
He had a moment.
He had a moment in his son. Got a second-round pick from Charlotte. I wasn't sure if that played into the Harrison move or played into something else. Is there two things going on at once here?
I think there's a lot of things going on.
Because it feels like that it's a different track.
Did you see the video of Wemby juggling?
Yes.
That's what the Spurs front office is doing right now. You can try to follow the ball and keep where he's going, especially that weird arm movement that he did. We knew the move with Graham was freeing up space in a roster spot
But they
for
could have
somebody.
done that without trading.
Sure. But again, they're juggling. They got more than one plate in the air right now.
I know we have a lot of forwards as we sit, and they just announced overnight City Sissoko's contract. That doesn't mean he's gone, but it doesn't look like he'll be here much longer. Barlow is also gone, but even without that, you look at if Champagny, Bassi, Mamu, the Harrisons, we're at 5 forwards now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the max that they can carry. I don't think they'll carry any more than that at that position. And I don't think they're even going to carry that many. I don't expect one of those guys is going to be gone.
They'll be gone. The Spurs offseason moves are not done. They're not done. And not close to being done.
And then just after 9:00, I do believe that the plan, if it was to end now, if they're complete, I think the Spurs would not be upset. But I do believe that you have hit on something that we do need to consider, and that's the timing of how the NBA contracts work and where Lauri Markkanen sits with this contract as opposed to when he signs it, and then the length of time he could be moved depending on who he signs the contract with. I think a little after 9, you're going to want to hear this to kind of understand why things might be a little bit slower with Markkanen and why it still could happen. I think you've hit on something, Jason, and we're going to do that. But coming up, when we get back from the break, let's look at the Cowboys as they sit right now. ESPN has ranked the top talented teams with guys under 25. The Cowboys come in as the 21st most talented under 25-year-old team in all of the NFL. How does that play into where Dak sits or stands with a boot on his foot? I shouldn't say ankle brace. That's not what it was. It was a walking boot in Mexico. Why do you have it on? We'll talk about it and where we sit just 3 weeks from training camp. Cowboy camp coming and fireworks in our past. How was your 4th? We're talking about it next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The Institute for Functional Health and I have been together for a long time. And when you come into Mondays, people always talk about their weigh-in day. Man, I hate when I hear that people have stuck on some kind of thing where they got to stand on a scale on Monday to atone for their sins. You need to change your lifestyle to truly lose weight for a long period of time. And if you don't do that, then the short-term diet isn't going to benefit you other than maybe just a pair of pants that ends up in the back of your closet that you can't wear anymore because you put the weight back on. Call and talk with Dr. Jacob Torres at the Institute for Functional Health and let him explain to you why he's been so successful with people like you, with people definitely like me, who've tried a little bit but never had to lose weight until a doctor told them, look, it's either that or medication, or you found out that, man, you're going to either lose the weight or you're going to be in a world of hurt. Well, if you talk with somebody who understands what you've gone through, you can see where you're going. And Dr. Torres has put many people through a program that actually works, thousands, just like you. Call him today. Number's 210-468-1891. Find out why changing your life ain't that difficult if you have the right help with you. Go to the website. It's iffhealth.com. It is a wonderful tool, but you're not going to know until you talk with Dr. Torres. Listen, if it's time for you to lose weight, January 1 of 2025, you can be a brand new you if you want to start right now. Call today, change your life, and thank me later.
94.1 FM.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Bourbon and Brews is heading south for the summer, but don't worry. We're now introducing Twin Peaks Tequila and Cervezas. It's a fiesta every Friday at Twin Peaks with samples of our favorite tequilas and cervezas all summer long. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is here on San Antonio's Sports Star. For the Brigade Bar on our YouTube feed. Where is Jamaica Beach? Somebody help us out here. We're trying to figure out where the intrepid reporter standing in the water is as opposed to Houston, Jamaica Beach.
Yeah, I don't know where Jamaica Beach is, but KBB just posted a video, and there's what's left of a house. And then they're showing like houses that are built on the stilts and the waterfront and upside down boats. And I'm like, where is Jamaica Beach? I think I feel like I've heard of a lot of beaches, know where some are, been to, I feel like most of them. I don't know where this is.
It looks like it's kind of parked over Houston. I've seen some friends. Where are we?
Galveston Island.
Oh, okay. That's way up there.
Population of 1,078.
Not today. Saw some friends with some fences down. No power in most of these places.
Anybody with places in Rockport, Port A? I feel like, it's weird. Like Port O'Connor, Matagorda Bay, that area is where the Houston types go.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio types go to Port A,
And
go to
south.
Corpus, go to Rockport. How are your places down there? I need an update from there.
From our local types.
Yes.
How's Port A looking? South Padre's fine. That's way north, right?
Yeah. I saw a tweet. Houston is getting hammered. Your friends in Houston are probably without power right now. Over 1 million people without power in Houston.
By now, if you live in Houston and you have the means and you don't have a generator of some sort, you're just playing with fire, man. I mean, if you don't have something, because it's going to happen twice a year in Houston, you're going to lose power for days on end. It just seems like a regular occurrence. And if you've gone this far and you still don't have generators, I can't imagine going into a summer in Houston without a full set of working generators giving me 12, 14 hours of at least consistent power.
Well, and apparently Beryl is not moving fast.
No, well, that's typical in Houston. They're stuck in traffic.
Well, our friend Nick Russo, who does work on the bowl down there in Houston, he tweets out, I'll tell you what, Beryl is a Sunday driver taking her sweet time getting out of Houston. Yeah, and again, you're right. What's the bigger fear right now if you are in Houston or along the coast? Is it the hurricane and the winds, or the idea that I might be without air conditioning for a couple of days?
I'll stay in a tent with air conditioning.
A tent with air conditioning.
But that's my dread fear.
What I love. You ask and you get responses. Family in Portland is fine, cloudy, all good in Port A.
Good.
My buddy in Rockport said looks good so far. So apparently that area is fine. You go further down.
I want to talk some NFL for a second, but this story I wanted to get to with the Spurs. This is one of those crazy stories that I think has slipped through the cracks. The Spurs assistant coach, Terry Kopanen, have you seen the story behind him?
No.
Okay, he's an assistant with the San Antonio Spurs. He's signed on. He's a international type.
Okay.
He was signed on June the 24th. 3 days after he was signed, his draft rights from 2007, 14 or 17 years ago, were traded to the New York Knicks.
What?
Dallas announced today that they have acquired the draft rights to the 51st overall pick to the 2024 NBA draft, Melvin Ajinka from New York, in exchange for the draft rights to Ariel Porty, the 58th overall pick in 2024, and the rights to Petteri Kopanen, the now coach of the Spurs, but the 30th overall pick in 2007. And
So
cash were involved in the deal.
They have his rights. Well, who got the cash? Did the guy that just got traded? Is this because he hasn't put in his retirement papers? he's eligible?
So
what?
So the Spurs are holding on to draft rights from a pick in 07 that still got, wonder what kind of cash. What is it, a 20?
Well, no. I mean, you got to be able to go somewhere
50?
and get a good dinner. I mean, you think about that new fancy restaurant over there at the Rock. Is that enough to cover that dinner bill?
Probably not.
Just one wine bill, one night out drinking with Greg Popovich.
So the current head coach or assistant coach for the Spurs Summer League team was part of a deal with the Knicks.
You got a hat and jersey?
I hope that he finished off his NBA career the right way.
There's so many little nuances. All these trade experts on Twitter, you have no idea what has value, what doesn't have value, what it takes, and why you hang on to stuff. They hoard stuff. It's like you and your bobblehead collection over there. You could have taken, let's see, is there a good bobblehead over there that you could take along with a visor and make a trade for somebody who was drafted in 07?
I've been told that this one this has some value.
That one has value.
I've been told that I made a trade for this one, that this one, the de los Dodgers, might have as much value as Petteri Koponen.
Well, it's possible.
So I'm willing right now,
to
trade for Petteri.
I'm seeing pictures of him. Yeah,
he had to get a new hip.
Familiar.
Well, he had to. Well, no, he had to get a new hip.
Oh, okay.
But
well, maybe that's why he
became
tradable now that he's got a new hip.
This bobblehead, for the rights to 2008, any 2008 pick, I'll trade this bobblehead and cash considerations
for the rights to a pick.
It's for the rights to a pick.
There's a place online where you can actually buy a star and claim it.
See, it's the same thing.
It really feels that way, doesn't it?
Because anybody who was drafted in 2008 has probably had their hip replaced. But I'm willing to if you've got it in your bank account, any NBA team, I will take his rights.
See, we've got to negotiate. Can I get the Derek White bobblehead with hair and throw in a puffy taco?
I'm open to negotiations, and you can have we might be able to, like I've got an Ed Reed on a horse. I mean, there's not too many of those.
Ed Reed on a horse.
The only one in existence.
A sentence you don't generally like to hear.
This is the only one in existence for you Texas types that I have Ed Reed on a horse. I'll even kick that in for the rights to Petteri Koponen.
Did you see?
You hearing me, Knicks? Right here. Look at this.
Yeah, but the Knicks, they're in New York.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, they need something that's a little bit more.
Wait. No, you think? They're still okay.
Hang on.
I will not only include the Dia de los Dodgers.
I hope you guys are watching on YouTube.
The Ed Reed on a horse.
Rob is showing off his bobbleheads.
But I will throw in Charlie Pride in a Rangers uniform playing the guitar.
Do you have a
Where
Costanza?
On earth are you going to find a trio of such disparate and rather important works of art that would include Ed Reed on a horse, Charlie Pride in a Rangers uniform playing guitar, and a Dodger in a sugar skull? I mean, where are you going to find this? And Petteri Koponen. I want his rights, New York. He's already coaching here. You don't need his rights. You're going to let him go. But you know what? You can get some value. I'll send a $20 bill. I will be recompensed for cash and 3 of my finest bobbleheads.
Keep your 20 because you've got a Yoda over there.
No, Yoda's untouchable. Yoda's my Wemby. I'm sorry. I'm building my entire franchise around the young Yoda.
You've got who's that? Beltray and a cowboy hat.
It is young Yoda, but
no. Did you see the Costanza bobbleheads they did at the Yankees game this weekend?
Yes, I did. Extraordinary.
Did you get one on eBay?
There will be time.
You don't have enough money.
Well, do they have? See, if I don't get Petteri Koponen, I'm gonna go chase the George Costanza bobblehead because they both have about the same kind of value.
Mm-hmm.
So Petteri, Coach Koponen, I'm sure you have some kind of paperwork from the league. If you'll just fax it to me, I'll consider that your rights, and I will send you. But I get to say that I have at one moment had the rights to Petteri Koponen in the 2007 draft pick, whose rights were just traded last week for cash compensation to the Dallas Mavericks, or from the Dallas Mavericks.
It's crazy.
Well, I'm just glad that Petteri, still played a valuable role in the NBA.
Does that affect his job status with the Spurs?
Well, this week will. So far, we're down got a negative about 40. Did you see what happened? Charlotte took us down by about 30. They were a little bit more respectable in game 2.
It was ugly. I didn't even watch last night's game when I saw that Castle already needed a rest day. The first game Saturday, I think if you're a Spurs fan, it's summer league.
It's
you
always
say
a letdown.
It doesn't. The final score doesn't matter. Did you see what you wanted from certain guys? And you could say that about Steph Castle. You saw what you wanted for his first summer league game. Had some mistakes, obviously, but for a guy that can't shoot, he shot the ball okay. Had a couple of nice three-pointers that looked smooth, even though he supposedly has bad mechanics and can't do that. His passing ability, the way he was running the show, gives you a lot of hope that he'll be the starting point guard sooner rather than later. Chris Paul will start the year as the starter. He won't end the year as the starting point guard.
Oh, without doubt, he was the best guy on the court from the moment the game began. Now, they were down like 20-9 first 2 minutes of the game.
Felt like Spurs basketball.
But I will say that when Castle had control of the ball, the game flowed at his pace, both offensively and defensively. When he was in control, the game went the way he wanted it to go. Might not have gone exactly how he wanted it to go, but the pace was his, and that's what I was looking for. Hit a couple of one beautiful transition three, one kind of a curl three, missed some others. It was as good a performance as you could have hoped for in that kind of situation. I hate showcase basketball. It's just hard for me to watch. And I'm always so excited. It's like when y'all get ready and you have your viewing party for the Hall of Fame game. And about 5 minutes into the game, you realize this sucks.
Yeah. As long as the food is good.
Yeah. So that, everybody got together on Saturday night or last night to watch the game. It's such a disappointment to see just bad basketball by guys you've never heard of.
But it's better than no basketball at all.
And that is indeed the truth. So we get another couple of days in Sacramento. The Spurs will charge to Vegas. First game will be this Saturday. They'll have 5 games there, led by a young coach named Trevino that, if your rights are still out there too, Coach. Got the Delos Dodgers. On the other side, did you see what went down in Provo, Utah on the 4th? Did you see we have access to fireworks as civilians.
Yes.
And, you hire professionals to handle professional events. Did you see what happened at the stadium in Provo, Utah?
Oh.
Where the fireworks were fired into the crowd and on the...
Well, it's not on purpose.
Well, no.
I mean, you make it sound like they
it
were
looked like it was.
Hey, everybody gather around.
It looked like
yeah,
they put them down on the field and aimed downward. How was your 4th?
You saw those cheerleaders dancing, though.
I'll tell you, there's one of them that stepped out of the way as one exploded at her feet and then stepped right back in. Like, the show must go on.
I mean, yeah, she's been watching that Netflix series on the Cowboy cheerleader. She knows what it takes.
That might be worthy of discussion as well. We had fireworks. We have the story of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, which my wife loved.
You got to watch it?
Well, got to? That's, it's like painting a fence if you act like you don't want to. I know my son enjoyed it. Let's talk some Dallas Cowboys on this side. Cheerleaders, of course, will play a role in all fun things, but there's a series to watch. We'll look forward to a training camp that's just 3 weeks away with their quarterback be limping in a boot. Hope not. This is the Morning Huddle.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Missions Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Celebrate July 4th with savings at Lowe's. For a limited time, save on the essentials you need to make your garden pop for summer, like Miracle Grow 25-quart potting mix. Get 2 bags for just $16 and get up to 40% off, plus save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances. Hurry, these deals won't last long because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Miracle Grow excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount, excluding supply. See Lowe's.com for more details. While supplies last.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you.
Also, I'm a robot.
Or or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who wants a treat? Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home.
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit, service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
This is ludicrous.
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs made a splash over the weekend as the third team in a three-team trade that landed DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento from the Bulls, as San Antonio got veteran forward Harrison Barnes and an unprotected 2031 pick in this trade. To make room, they traded guard Devontae Graham and a second-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, gather around. There's lots to talk about on this Monday morning. It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'm not AJ Hoffman, nor do I pretend to be. I'm Rob. AJ out in his place, my good friend and longtime host of The Blitz. That's Jason Minix. He's working a double.
I am.
I'm going to have Joe Reiniger in with he can make his flights, evidently. He
Sure.
understands how airports work.
You're a responsible adult.
He's a responsible adult, and we'll be flying in from parts elsewhere, circumnavigating the barrel beast that's coming through Houston. AJ,
a lot of
we
people
expect
are
to get
using
through.
a different B word to describe Beryl.
She's a bee, man. She's
Yeah.
hanging over Houston and not leaving.
No, I'm not the weather guy by any stretch. Nobody confuses me as Bill Taylor. But I just saw a tweet that Beryl has been over land for 5 hours and still hurricane force winds. It has not died down since, I guess over land for a certain period of time. the winds drop, and so it's moving slow and still at such a high rate, which is the problem for the flooding and all the damage.
So it hit ground landfall, I guess, 1 a.m. and it's hanging out over Houston. But we're not going to see anything of it.
No,
man.
I know you wanted.
I know I did, but it's crazy how we literally have no idea where these things go. I mean, the spaghetti models, even the craziest spaghetti model didn't have it going that far north even 3 days ago. Like they literally have no idea.
The best meme was, it turns east. The best meme I saw this weekend was even the hurricane doesn't want to deal with I-35.
I'll tell you. And if it's anywhere near Houston, it's going to hit Houston.
Well, and
I
again,
think we got to get used to that.
The idea of the spaghetti models, and you're right, because they got a mind of their own. All the science is out there. But you bring up spaghetti, and it got me to thinking about something that I heard hours ago while I was driving into work because of an irresponsible A.J. Hoffman. As I'm driving and I'm listening to Chris Canty, and I don't hear that show ever.
No.
Chris Canty, also a responsible person, was able to get his flight back so he can get to work on time. But he was in Chicago for the 4th with the in-laws. Now, he's an East Coast guy. And there was issues at the 4th of July picnic. So the grilling,
so he's in Chicago.
The barbecue. Yes. Because apparently they serve spaghetti at a barbecue.
It's so weird to me.
And that's what he said.
Ridiculous.
Although, according to his in-laws, his wife's family, you're not at a barbecue unless you've got spaghetti. And apparently that's a Chicago Midwestern thing. Now, the lady doing the show with them says, yeah, I'm from Illinois, and I've never heard that. And my thought is spaghetti at a barbecue just has all kinds of wrong.
So was it that? Now, I've heard of barbecue spaghetti.
Barbecue spaghetti is awful. I tried that one time in Memphis.
So they didn't. This is just a big pot full of noodles.
Yes. Get your burger, get your dog, get your ribs, get your spaghetti. Yes. Does anybody out there?
Nothing spells a holiday cookout like a big old bowl of spaghetti.
Well, and again, he's like, mac and cheese is fine. They looked at him, according to Chris Canty this morning, like he was crazy. Mac and cheese, apparently, to those types, are winter food.
What?
Okay.
All right. Now that it's a little weird, but I get, especially if it's like a cold pasta salad, maybe.
Wow.
But mac and cheese, I get it if you brought that, but even that's a little out there.
I mean, macaroni, if you're going to a barbecue, there's generally somebody that's brought some sort of homemade macaroni.
Those kids are going to be there.
Not opening up a box of Kraft or Velveeta, but like
legit
homemade
legit,
mac,
which is a legit part of a great meal, but
and easy to eat. One of the reasons why I think spaghetti at a barbecue sounds ridiculous because that's not easy to eat. Right? You're going to put some spaghetti on your plate with your ribs and brisket, whatever. Spaghetti. Now,
that is the weirdest. I'm trying to think of anything that is as close to. One time I was at a parade. I was at a downtown parade, not the night parade, the hot one. And I was sitting one row back. We had the chairs right on the street, and the people that were sitting directly in front of us brought a crock pot. And it's 100 degrees.
Okay.
Brought a crock pot, and everybody around ate smothered pork chops at a parade.
What, smothered?
They were like smothered with like gravy, and it was like a whole meal that this woman was ladling out.
They had the most incredible paper plates available.
At the parade. No, that was it. It was like it was the strangest meal I'd ever seen. Like, you know what, we're gonna have my favorite parade meal, smothered pork chops.
Yeah.
So it was 105, and they're holding a smothered pork chop and trying to cut it with a knife. That's as weird as spaghetti at a barbecue for the 4th. Now, it wasn't like Skyline chili. Because Skyline chili is kind of like spaghetti chili, right?
Well, since at Cincinnati,
but so it's Midwest.
On Frank says spaghetti in a bag. No,
what?
No, he said. Now again, I can only go with what Chris Canty was saying this morning. So I'm thinking And if you've ever been to Chicago, the Italian restaurants that are there. So I'm not expecting like Skyline chili or the way they do their spaghetti with chili. Thinking it's spaghetti with the sauce. It's been made for hours. There's probably some either a good meat sauce or a meatball. Well, but at a picnic, at a barbecue, now they said, "Did you eat any?" And he said, "Out of spite, no." He said, "Was it on your plate?" Well, I didn't fix my plate, so it was on there, but I didn't tell anybody. He called it, I forget the term he used because it was 5 a.m. when I'm driving in. Dry snitching. He said, "I'm dry snitching," because he's snitching on himself. Yes. He said, "But at the party, it was on the plate, but I ate everything else and I threw it away without telling anybody because I just couldn't bring myself to eat spaghetti at a 4th of July barbecue." It is spaghetti. If you're from that area, is that true? Or how true is that? But it just seemed so random to me. And I realize there are parts of the country that you go to and they do things differently.
Yeah, I get it.
But spaghetti at a barbecue just sounds awful.
Not like anything. It better come across as you better be legit Italian grandmother making this stuff. You know what I mean? It better be a family. We've been doing this since we, came over. I would buy that at this point. But at some point you become Americanized to the point where the 4th of July is about hamburgers and hot dogs, and you just kind of adopt that.
Now, are you if you're getting hamburgers and hot dogs, you're not at a barbecue? What constitutes a barbecue? I don't know. I
think if the 4th, I think encompasses it all.
It's it.
You're allowed if there's fire.
If you're cooking outside,
you're barbecuing.
It's a barbecue, right?
Because it's a rookie day. It's a day that a lot of people, pull. They don't cube it once or twice a year. I get it. So you don't want to go too far into the woods. And spaghetti is a kind of an easy out.
Yeah, but he said they had everything else that you would have. Just spaghetti was the centerpiece. And I'm thinking that's just like I'm driving in going, I'm not down with this. I love spaghetti, but
I don't think I've ever eaten spaghetti outside.
Well, that's it. I mean, you think about a paper plate spaghetti, whether you cut your spaghetti or however you do it, but that's going to get all over you. Spaghetti's going to get all over you, especially if you're using a paper plate. I don't care how good your paper plate is.
Big, sweaty, hot bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah, that's just, do we get soup too? I mean, to me, it's just, like mac and cheese. It's easy. You scoop it on there. Kids are going to eat it. It's going to be fine. I was just a little taken aback by that.
How was your dining on the 4th? Your ribs. I mean, you did ribs.
Yeah, I did ribs and a bunch of kielbasa sausage. We went to a party. Friend that has a pool, so I did the ribs there, and they came out great. I mean,
yeah, your ribs always do.
They were good. Sausage was good, so it was pretty easy. That was basically the food there, besides chips and dips and things like that.
I've already gone through 2 tanks of propane with my Blackstone that I got on Father's Day.
Really?
I can, because I use the Traeger so much, and that's electric. And normally if I grill, I still have a gas grill, but that tank will last me half the summer minimum.
Sure.
I'm not accustomed to having to go refill the Blackstone. The Blackstone is a money pit.
Well, because I want one of these.
I'm just saying
Are you telling me the unintended consequences?
Well, the unintended consequences, there's so many things you want to try and make that you just, I'm out of propane. Well, go get some more. And then let's try this. Well, that'll be $80 in ingredients. And then the next, it is a money pit, man.
Are you having fun with it?
I'm loving it. Though I'm a month in, and there's one thing: if you are planning on getting a Blackstone, when you get it, go ahead at that time, get the proper spatulas.
Okay.
Because there is a very unique spatula that only you have to have it offset.
Okay.
Because you have to have the flat part. And then there has to be a pretty good angle up, or you're going to burn your knuckles because of the proximity. Because if you've got a flat spatula,
you have to have the right tools.
And if you don't do that, and normally, like I didn't have it, and you order those, and Amazon always says it's a day, and it never is a day. So I've still got some burnt knuckles from scraping along on the Blackstone trying to do the hibachi stuff, and you want to be able to make that noise.
Oh yeah.
So I was using old.
So you're trying to be that guy.
Well, if you're like
you're
me,
tossing eggs and making volcano fires.
Well, if you're like me, over the years, you've accumulated. I bet for you barbecue types, if people know that you like to stand over a grill, you've probably accumulated over your life from the many different barbecue sets that you've been given for birthdays and Father's Days. I bet right now, Minix, you probably have 15 to 20 spatulas for your barbecue grill.
Maybe. Yeah.
Don't you figure over the years you get those barbecue packs, and it always comes with a spatula, big fork.
Yep.
And there's always the little briefcases or bags that you. Over the years, I bet I've got 15 of those.
Yep.
None of them are appropriate for the Blackstone.
Well, no, they're appropriate for a grill.
Right.
Which is different.
Which you wish they would have. So now I'm like, well, honey, I'm going to have to get the. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, well, see, this spatula doesn't work on this grill. It just works on this grill, which it was the same thing when I would go to my wife. Well, I got to go to Lowe's. Why? Well, the drill I have doesn't quite do with a Nardinal, so I'm going to have to go buy this other drill because I want this drill because it'll do that. She looks at it like, oh, so this is just another reason for you to have to go and buy some kind of new toy. Because not only do I need those spatulas, I need a shovel thing.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about, have you seen those little shovel tray thing? I don't have that. Which, that's another thing that I have to have. That I could only use on the Blackstone. You can't use anywhere else because it's like it wouldn't work.
See, I want a Blackstone just now because I get all the new toys.
Oh, see, that's just it. You get all the new toys. And then you have and you can't wear dry fit shirts next to your Blackstone or it melts.
Oh, really?
That's one of those little lessons you learn the hard way when you're
So you started if your belly you started cooking with the shirt on and ended topless?
Well, I was cooking and I felt something like really hot right about at my navel, and I looked down and it had melted my shirt.
Oh,
legit.
It just adds to the fried rice.
I'll tell you what.
That's a whole new meaning of
I
the
have
Juicy Lucy.
A whole new respect to dudes that stand over.
Well, they're conditioned for it. Give it time. Have you made a good Juicy Lucy yet?
I can kill a Juicy Lucy.
Nice.
Because the heat you can get off that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Best thing I ever got, but the biggest money pit I've invested in a long time.
There was a company here, and unfortunately they went out of business. And maybe somebody could bring them back with the Blackstone craze if they suck propane the way you're talking about. It was called Cinch. And it was an app. You could order your propane tanks and they just bring it to your house.
Oh, come back in business, man.
And it was $19. It was the same price as if you go to Lowe's or wherever you go. And you leave your empty can and they just switch them out for you. It was the greatest thing. And then I got an email from them not long ago that they've discontinued service.
Well, I now have 3 empties. I try to have 4 on the property full at all times. I've not ever gone through this much propane this out.
That's crazy.
I mean, it really goes through. It's worth it. Don't get me wrong.
I got a propane killer too. I got a new toy.
So I want to close out this segment with this. So on Friday, was it Friday?
Wednesday.
So it was Wednesday. So that was my Friday. So it was on that Wednesday. You posted a picture of just what this thing, and I go, oh, funny, a flamethrower. I was just joking. I just thought, oh, that's funny. And then you posted the video. Now I was like, dude, I'm amazed that I'm able to go buy some of the fireworks that I'm allowed to buy. What you have should not be legal to purchase.
It really should not be. And it's the coolest toy.
It's a flamethrower.
Well, and all I thought I was getting. So I've been using a Bird's-O-Matic torch. And
that's to get your coals going for your egg and your
just something to help with starting the fires, right? And I've gone through like 3 of these Bird's-O-Matic torches. I don't know why they don't last.
You're talking about what's
absolutely. And
you've gone through 3 of those?
Yeah. And I don't know why. But they're like $70 a pop. So a buddy of mine, Alonzo.
We're talking about Nick Mangold's.
Yes. And Alonzo from Gulf Coast Smoke posted a video on his YouTube channel, and he had this cool fire starter. And I was like, what is that? And he sent me the link. It was kind of pricey. He says, I've had mine for like 5 years. It works great. I'm like, well, good. Because it was $150. And it's like a big pistol. And I thought, well, this would be fun. And this thing, like, I'm afraid of it.
Post the video. If you have not seen it on the socials, Jason shows how it works. So you can start a fire in your green egg from about 15 feet away if you want to.
Oh, easy.
Or you could clear a bunker if you needed to do that as well.
I mean, there was, I mean, you start messing with that thing. But I will tell you, the other day, without any fire starters, and I sent you a video of the fire I had going.
Yeah.
In about 60 seconds, all of those briquettes, those B&B briquettes, were fully engulfed in about 60 seconds. It was just like, but it goes through those little Coleman canisters pretty quick.
It looked like, for those of all that have been paying attention.
But it was awesome.
It's like having your own dragon. You've been watching Game of Thrones. You need to name your flamethrower.
It's called the grill gun. If you go online, grill gun. And I thought you pull the trigger and you hold on to the trigger and let go of the trigger and the flame stops. It doesn't.
I assume that's...
Yeah, no, you just click the trigger and the flame is there. Then there's a little knob on the top where you adjust how much flame do you want. I mean, it's almost like running a fire hose with fire instead of water coming out of it. It is the coolest toy, but it's a little... Vic just pulled it up online.
It looks like a flamethrower.
It
acts like a flamethrower, and it's being sold disguised as a barbecue grill starter. But when the zombies come,
well, and the other crazy part is they say that if you you could use that to finish off your food. I'm afraid what it would do to my food.
Blacken.
I mean,
well, that's the Burns-O-Matic was really designed to do that, though. See, I've never used it to start charcoal.
That's all I got. Well, I'll maybe a little bit of little heat to finish
the fact
a steak.
Is, I need to just give you that. I've never used it.
Really?
Well, I mean, I've used it when I first got it, and I told Nick I was using it a lot, but I really didn't.
You lied to Nick Mangold?
Well, I was using it at the time, but that's been several years ago, and he's a big dude. Of course I lied.
Vic's about to have a fit if we don't take a break and give away these tickets to go see Eclipse.
656-3776. You want to go see Eclipse? They are coming to the Aztec Theater. They play Journey songs almost like Journey. They even look like them. They're going to be at the Aztec on July the 13th. If you're caller 5, go see Eclipse in their Summer Jam series July the 13th. At the Aztec, if you're caller number 5 to 656-3776, 656-ESPN. There's 2 guys named Harrison on the Spurs. Yeah, we'll talk about both of them next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, we'll have the latest NBA rumors, especially those involving the San Antonio Spurs. And we've had our first look at Steph Castle in a silver and black uniform. How's Summer League going? 2 games in. Plus, we'll talk some college football with Taylor McCarg. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, living here in San Antonio and South Texas, a water softener is almost a requirement. The water is hard. You know this. It affects your appliances and all of that kind of stuff. And the best water softener to buy is a Connecticut quality water softener. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. They're made in America. Up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Got a simple design, fewer moving parts, and the best thing about it is there's nothing to plug in. There won't be an increase in your electric bill. Connecticut quality water softeners are the best in the business, and right now they have got the best deal for you. Connecticut is going to let you try a quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Call them today. 656-PURE. That's 656-7873 or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. Connecticut, the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
Company vehicle accidents are on the rise, and as a result, serious injury and deaths are on the rise as well. A company vehicle is any car, truck, van, SUV, bus, or fleet vehicle that is used for business purposes. If you or a loved one has been in an accident with a company vehicle, call Thomas J. Henry. We handle serious company vehicle accidents and get serious results. Call Thomas J. Henry today. Available 24/7, nights and weekends. San Antonio, Texas.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
All the jokes about LeBron sleeping with his teammate's mom. Wow.
Wait a minute. What? Who'd LeBron sleep with?
His teammate's mother.
Oh, you did?
Well, yes.
Ronnie's teammate's mother.
LeBron is sleeping with his teammate's mother. It's not that hard to figure out,
No,
Joe.
I'm trying to. Whose teammate are we talking about?
Bronny and LeBron are teammates.
Okay.
LeBron is sleeping with his teammate's mother. He is sleeping with Bronny's mother.
I get you. Okay, all right.
It wasn't that hard to figure out.
I thought we had a spectacle going on here. That's way too long to put together.
It really did.
I'm like, oh, man.
Sometimes, Ryan Nagel.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's the Morning Huddle. AJ Hoffman will be back tomorrow. The hurricane got in his way. Jason Minix pulling the double. He'll be here early and be here late. Make sure you're here at 2 o'clock. Joe Reinagle will make an appearance fresh off his West Coast swing. Lots to get into today. I wonder how much will change between now and then. I don't expect much. Although it was a busy 4 days for the Spurs. They acquired a world champion in Harrison Barnes. Got himself a ring there with Golden State. Been with Sacramento for a minute. A well-regarded, long-time NBA guy. Certainly brings a skill set and a mentality that fits very well with where the Spurs are. He'll be an adult in the room. He'll be much like Chris Paul, bring the experience, bring the understanding, and bring a starting role, we assume, as the season begins. Although it's a nice move, and nobody is scoffing at the draft pick they picked up at 31, but it certainly wasn't Lauri Markkanen.
It's not Lauri Markkanen, but the Lauri Markkanen deal is not dead.
What does your gut tell you? I mean, I know it's for financial reasons and NBA calendar reasons and all that, it can still be alive, but do you believe that's still an option? And if you do, what's the percentage?
It is an option, and I would go probably about 60-70% that it could still happen.
Okay, wow.
And I say that the moves that the Spurs have made to this point with Chris Paul getting Harrison Barnes in the trade that sent DeMar DeRozan to Sacramento helps this team, but it doesn't affect the Spurs' future plans, which, knowing how much they liked Lauri Markkanen when he was in Chicago, they missed. And he's still available sort of maybe from Utah. And you hear Golden State's in. Golden State's made some moves that kind of make you wonder if they feel like they're out. Sacramento apparently is still in on Lauri Markkanen, but are they really with their draft assets? The Miami's been linked to Lauri Markkanen. None of those teams have the capital that the Spurs have, whether you're talking about players or picks, that can match San Antonio. So if the Spurs truly want Lauri Markkanen, they will not be outbid for Lauri Markkanen. The hang-up, if Danny Ainge is dead set on, I need that pick you get from Atlanta, or there's no deal, then there is no deal.
Okay, right there. In your mind, would you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good.
The value of that pick, that unprotected pick from Atlanta, is not worth Lauri Markkanen. Now, granted, you don't know how good Atlanta's going to be. You don't know if that's going to be the number 1 overall pick or pick number 7, but you can't take that chance for Lauri Markkanen. And with every conversation you have about Lauri Markkanen, there's always somebody that will tweet or will comment in the chat, I wouldn't do that deal because he's got 1 year left on his deal. Any deal with Lauri Markkanen requires a long-term extension from Lauri Markkanen. That shouldn't have to be said. That should just be assumed, but let's say it anyway. And then you wonder, because Lauri Markkanen does not have a no-trade clause, but he does have leverage there, because if he tells whatever team's trying to pull the deal off, like, dude, I'm not signing with you, you're not making that trade.
And so if that was to get him, to get the max money that he's going to want, will involve Utah offering him the max because they can offer more, and then that deal being traded. Now, the hiccup is he can't sign that deal until August.
Correct.
And if you sign that deal in August, when you sign the max deal, you can't be traded for 6 months.
Correct.
And that 6 months will take us directly to the trade deadline.
Which is why August 6th is such an important date. If he signs, and that's the day he's eligible for the extension, and the trade deadline next year is February 6th, right at 6 months. So if he signs his extension on the 8th of August, then he's in Utah all of next year. He cannot be traded. So August 6th to February 6th is kind of the key date to work in there. And there's all these different weird little NBA rules that, very few people completely understand. And I certainly am not one of those that completely understand it, because I read from this guy who should know, and his article of reasoning is a little different from that guy who, but there's some things on the calendar that say a deal for Lauri Markkanen right now, timing wise, isn't likely. Got to wait a couple of weeks. So that's why I say I don't think it's dead yet, because one, nobody else has gotten a deal done. Why? Is it because Danny Ainge wants too much? Is he willing to back off? Danny Ainge, his history is he's not going to lose a trade. Spurs' history is they're not going to make a bad trade. So where is the stalemate when you've got two world-class general managers squaring off in the ring? This is going to go 12 rounds and probably to the scorecard.
I sit with that Atlanta pick is about as untouchable as the Spurs pick, because the Spurs can control themselves. They can do exactly what they did last year and get themselves right back into the top 4 lottery. They can do that. They can pull a David Robinson, and you don't play for the second half of the season. They can do whatever they need to do to ensure their pick will be where it needs to be. They're not going to do that, but they can rest assured that Atlanta is, in every word, collapsing, even though they get no benefit from this tank. But they're trading away assets as fast as they can. They're going to come back with some draft picks before next year. They're going to have a number 1 pick. Might not be their original one, but they're going to do everything they can to get it, and they'll probably involve Trae Young to do it. But it won't be to the Spurs. I think that deal is done. I think we can wave goodbye to the Trae Young rumors.
Yes,
it's over.
Steph Castle and Chris Paul have kind of said Trae Young. And it's weird because Atlanta's not getting their pick back from San Antonio.
They're not. It's cold, dead hand kind of stuff. Or if you were going to tell me that you're the Spurs and you go, our plan is to hold on to these top 2 picks, because we look at Cooper Flagg and we see this kid who is reclassified from a junior to a senior, who now is at Duke, will be the number 1 pick next year unless something weird happens. You know who Cooper Flagg is in 5 years? He's Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, the talent type that we're talking about is 6'10" to 7 foot guy who can hit threes, put the ball on the floor, get to the rim, passer, mobile, all that. He's Lauri Markkanen. And in fact, if you drafted Cooper Flagg number 1 overall and you said, in 4 years you're going to have Lauri Markkanen, you go, well, there's been a lot worse number 1 overall picks.
Yeah, there has been. And
so
and Lauri Markkanen took a couple of years to figure out he was Lauri Markkanen.
Exactly. So you get the Cooper Flagg that you hope to get in 5 years. You get him right now, and we've been praying for the fast forward, but I think that's too much of a fast forward in their mind, because I don't think Wemby is where they want him to be when, they're chasing a title. And Lauri Markkanen, as good as he is, will subtract from Wemby's growth.
When you look at the idea of what the Spurs are trying to do, and Lauri Markkanen helps expedite the rebuild, although the moves they have done this year, you might say
they went from a dirt road to a road, a paved road, but not a highway.
Sure.
Yeah, they're better off. They're
better. They're better than I thought they might be this year. With some of the moves they made, with all the ideas, we're looking at 25 and beyond, and the collection of picks of 7th graders right now, the 2030, 2031. That's high level front office work there. That the value that those picks will have when Wemby is 25, 26 in his prime
and making $80 million a year by then.
At least. but the idea that they're really looking down the road into the future, and you look at it's hard for most of us to say a pick in 2031. Are you kidding me? Well, if you've got Wemby in 2031, you want to still be able to surround him with some incredible talent, and you don't expect to be a lottery team then.
Yeah, but what about a bird in the hand? There's that old.
Does this not feel like they're setting themselves up for another 20-year run?
Well, they're trying. They are trying. I get it.
I like that better than a 5-year run.
Yeah, but there's this old saying, that I heard when I was in church, when I was a kid in Southern Baptist Church. There's this old kind of story about there's a flood coming, and a guy's up on the top of his house as the waters are rising, and a guy comes by on a boat, and he said, I'm here to save. He says, no, God's going to save me. You're good. The boat leaves, and the water keeps rising. Another boat comes by. So I'm going to get you. He goes, no, I've been praying. God's going to save me. Then the boat leaves, and before you know it, the water rises, and the guy drowns. He's up in heaven. He goes, I thought you were going to come to save me. And God goes, I sent you 2 boats. Well, you feel like you got Larkin. You got Laurie Marketing. You got the guy. You have the opportunity. You have the money to spend. And even if you spent everything they asked for, guess what? You still got more. You got number ones the following year. You got number ones after that. Mm-hmm. You got more to play with. How many times do you let opportunity go by? I get building for the future, and we're looking at 2031. My God, I get it. But as a Spurs fan who sat through the last 6 years of this crap and go, okay, at what point are you going to stop trying my patience and go, now we got Wemby, but if you'll wait just a little longer. Well, damn it, I've already waited 5 years for this.
5 years, no playoffs, 7 years since a playoff series win. And the Spurs fan in me is just like that. I am out of patience. I don't want another crap year like what we just had, although that might have been the funnest 22-win team I've ever watched just because of Wemby. And next year, I don't know, are they pushing 40 wins? What's the number?
But even that's a losing team.
Yes, that is still I mean, are they going to be a play-in team? Maybe a real playoff team, which I'd be happy with, especially if you've got Atlanta's pick. I'm not as much worried about our pick. I hope to not be in the lottery again next year, which is why the value of Atlanta's pick is so high. And I wouldn't be surprised if a Lauri Markkanen deal were to get done. You're getting hammered for your Cooper Flag comments on YouTube, which is fine, but you don't know how some of these guys
are people projecting Cooper to be better than Lauri. Okay,
yeah,
no, I get that,
and that makes sense.
No, I get
right.
It. No,
but if your bar
certainly not worse.
But if your bar is Lauri Markkanen, that's pretty. That's
think
pretty
about
good bar.
See, everybody talks about it. When you draft a guy number 1 overall, he has to be LeBron. He has to be Kobe. He has to be Tim. And you could name all the number ones that went number 1 when everybody was expecting Cooper Flag's going to get that. That's so, even the best ones turn out to be, all-star caliber, but not superstars. That's just Lauri Markkanen is an all-star. He is a top 30 player in the NBA. He is today. That's your wildest expectations drafting number 1 overall. I don't care what position or what year. If you draft somebody that within 5 years is a top 30 player and an all-star, that's jackpot. You did it. You can draft a LeBron every 10 years. You can draft a Wemby every 10 years, but every year you get a Lauri Markkanen. That's good. That's a really good draft. And if you can tell me, I'll speed the clock up. The guy you draft now will be this guy in 5 years, or you can have him now.
Now, let me ask you this.
I don't want him now.
Let me ask you this. And this was brought up on the Blitz the other day by Jeff McDonald of the Express News as we throw spaghetti on the wall. Phoenix is given this year another run with Beal and Durant and Booker. Say it doesn't work again next year and they blow that up. What would you be willing to give to get a Devin Booker?
A lot.
Exactly.
More than marketing.
So the idea of the now and making a move for the now versus what could be next year. And while next year's draft is said to be so much better, next year's free agent class seems to be so much better.
If we were the Yankees, if we were the Dodgers, and we were a team, or the Lakers, and we were a team that lived on this, that lived on the free agent market, that lived on every year finding the money and going and buying the superstar, I'd buy it. This is the Spurs.
Yes.
Do we really believe that they're going to be all in with $80 million and 7 picks for Devin Booker? I just don't believe it's in them. I don't think they're capable of stepping into that ring and making those kind of deals. Now, you can grow into it as an interior Spur and grow into that kind of money. But for me to see Brian Wright calling back and talking to Junior and going, Pete, Devin will come, but you're going to have to write 8 years of checks for about $75 million. Are you down for this?
Yep.
I would like to think that he would be.
That new salary cap money, they got to spend it somewhere.
But my history tells me that's happened one time in the 50 years of the Spurs. Once. And that was LaMarcus.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to tell me it'll happen again? It's only happened one time in the 50 years of the Spurs that you went in and paid the free agent the most you could pay for as long as he wanted it.
When you look at the old Spurs way with Tim and what the new Spurs way is going to be, you can't apply old school mentality to points trying to make this argument and then not apply them when you're making these. And what they're doing right now is trying to figure out what is the new Spurs way. And again, are they going to be real in the NBA way? And quite frankly, what does Wemby want? Because, as it's been said many times, he's the most important voice in the room.
Do you think he wanted this? You think he's happy with where he sits today?
No, which is why I think some of the moves that we're seeing are, 22 wins to 40. I know, that's improvement. It still ain't good enough, but I think he does trust the front office enough to know what they're aiming for down the road.
Congratulations, Ray Navarro. He's going to see Eclipse. There'll be tickets all week long. Hey, coming back, we'll try to make you some money with the lines, but let's not kid ourselves. AJ ain't here, but we'll do what we can. Looking forward to a full sporting day as we're just starting it. Welcome on to the day. This is the Morning Huddle. We'll be right back here on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
I always do my best to prep for summer, but sometimes things just come up. And when they do, Kohl's and their great prices are always there for me. I just shopped their summer cyber sale and saved big on everything I was missing, like summer must-haves under $15, floor care essentials for 50% off, and kitchen appliances for 30% off. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. So no matter what happens the rest of the summer, I'll be ready. Thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The American cowboy is everything that makes this country great.
There's a freedom to being a cowboy.
Being a cowgirl is not a safe, easy path, but it's one that's very rewarding.
The American cowgirl is dedicated to her livestock. She's dedicated to her country, and she's dedicated to her family.
The American cowboy is honest.
We're the backbone of how this country was founded.
There's a whole lot of legacy that goes along with being a cowboy, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Boot barn, keep west.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's the Morning Huddle. What do you guys got converted to the Euro Soccers over the last couple of weeks?
Not me.
I have. I am completely in. Not the good news is I really don't have a dog in the fight. I kind of was for the I was for that new country, Turkey.
Yeah.
I think it's where the old Turkey used to be, but a new one came in, Turkey. They played the Brits pretty close, but lost in extras. And by the way, you're not going to have the Portuguese team to kick around. You're not going to have what's his face, the pretty boy. You don't even know who I'm talking about.
Ronaldo?
Yeah, he's out.
One.
He's out.
Yeah.
I watched him cry.
He cried?
He cried.
Aw.
He missed a penalty kick. He made the next one, but he missed the.
I thought he only gets one.
Well, no, in PK's, he got another one.
Ah, okay.
He got another one.
Learn something new every day.
They'll be back tomorrow for all of you guys that are used to the 11 o'clock kickoffs. Then tomorrow at 2, we're in the finals, the semifinals.
Uh-huh.
France is still in it.
Okay.
The Brits, the Dutch.
We've exceeded soccer talk for the day.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to try to make some money tomorrow, we'll have the lines for you. See, normally AJ does the lines.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to be real honest. I don't know what he's talking about most of the time.
Okay.
But I'll say this. I've made money. Personally.
Uh-huh.
Legitimately, I listen to what he has to say every day as we do that. Play the music. We got to do it. It's a segment. It's an appointment. I got
It's
no
the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
AJ is where right now? Can he not call in and at least do the
He's
lines?
probably on a plane. I don't know. It's a union thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
If I'm getting the day off, I can't call in and do a segment.
I don't know. He's probably not even paying attention.
Lines.
Probably going. But I will say that when we do the lines, I do recommend listening on a much more regular basis if you're trying to make some money, because I have.
He's doing soccer lines?
No, we're doing pitcher.
Oh.
We're doing baseball.
Okay.
We look at the pitchers.
Okay, because you started
I don't
talking
know.
soccer, and I'm like, I didn't wake up at 4:30 this morning to come in and talk soccer.
But I have made some money on soccer.
Really?
See, one of the
How
things
do you
I
bet soccer?
Well, you can bet over under.
Half?
You can bet the money line. You can bet half. You can bet individual goals. There's lots of ways. See, and that's one of the things when you're an amateur gambler type like me, normally you just kind of get into it like you look at the line, you go, this team is going to win. This team isn't going to win. Or you look at the over under, look at the number of points are going to be scored. I have never bet like first 5 innings, pitchers pitch count. I've never bet those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm learning and I wish I was able to help those that really have come to the show right now to make some money, though I can't. I wish I could help. And I thought I'd just go through the lines, but I'm not going to fake it.
So AJ getting stranded because he didn't want to change flights and leave home earlier, not only, had me get up early in the morning, but he screws all the listeners that rely on what he's telling them at 9:30 for the daily line.
Even the hardcore types, I think, are having trouble like diving full force into WNBA.
I agree.
You know what I
with that.
mean? Although we did see over the weekend, Caitlin. Triple-double, first rookie to ever do that.
And Risa, another double-double.
And that the growing rivalry that is there.
I will tell you, I've made money with the WNBA on Underdog Fantasy. And again, that's this higher or lower on stats. Mm-hmm. It is interesting because I don't know much, but when you go back in the WNBA, from my experiences, which I'm not the pro like AJ is, but they'll give you like the last 3 games and what they've done, how consistent they are. So if you look at that, whether it's points or rebounds or assists, you look at that and they're pretty spot on with the consistency of their game. So depending on if you're going higher or lower
Mm-hmm.
on whatever the point total is or rebound total, wherever that number is, you look at the trend and you can make some money that way.
Now, if you are into tennis, you could lay some money down. Like, if you're a Djokovic fan, 40.5 total games won. Djokovic over Holger Rune on the over-under. And if you want to go prize picks, if you're doing the daily fantasy, the more or less is right at the same thing at 40.5. You a tennis guy?
No.
I like Djokovic. I would go the more on this. If you're playing the tennis game.
I haven't watched much.
It's not time yet.
No. Did you see the Tour de France got started too?
Yeah, well,
I haven't cared about that since Lance didn't. Right.
Well, speaking
like
of,
they still do that.
Yeah, they still do it, and they do it a lot. I watched on Netflix over the last 4 days. I've spent a lot of time watching a lot of these. I guess it's in prep for the Olympics they've had, and the tour, which I guess there'll be some biking in the Olympics too. The behind the scenes things, that's now the rage now in all of real documentary sports TV is go behind the scenes. Like they've got the sprinters, both the men and the women, in preparation for the Olympics. They go through all of last year with the money that's involved with high end sprinting. That's on Netflix. You can watch that. You can get behind the scenes with all the professional tennis players, which is the biggest mistake they ever made, because you find out that every one of them are total douches.
Yep.
Then you can get behind and do all the pre-Olympic stuff just a month and a half away.
When you, I haven't watched that one yet. I know wide receiver comes out
That's
this
Wednesday.
week.
Wide receiver's coming out Wednesday. And then we've had the preseason New York Giants
on Hard Knocks,
which I thought had already happened, and I was going to be able to watch the whole season, like the preseason, as we're getting so close. No, is this just going to go to training camp and then stop because we're going to do the Bears for training camp?
I don't know how many episodes we're getting out of this. And I thought episode 1 was fascinating.
It was fascinating, but I'll tell you what, Jason, if you guys, it's on
Max.
On Max, HBO Max, and it's Hard Knocks for the off season. I have said many times that being a GM, I think, would be easy. I do. And this cat, who's the Giants general manager?
Yeah, that guy.
Is proving it.
Well, I mean, to a degree, I wonder with this show, I love the access that we're getting in episode 1. And I hope that continues through however many episodes there's going to be. But at the same time, I don't know that we're ever going to get this again. There's not another team out there that's going to say, yeah, that you're coming into our building. Players have to hate this. Agents have to hate this. And quite frankly, I wonder how much guarded conversations happening in that room, because they know cameras are there. Because this is what, like with regular Hard Knocks, the team gets to approve what gets out there. So what we saw.
That's what they approved?
Well, they had to have, right? So that's what tells me, like the GM in Carolina got fleeced in that trade for Burns.
Yes.
Yeah, right? He can't be happy. His owner, Tepper, he's kind of a nutball. Could you imagine that conversation? You could have got so much more what they thought it was going to take to get this guy. And if you're Burns, they just gave you this big contract. They traded for it, and you realize you weren't the first option. You were the affordable option. They didn't love you like they told you.
I took away from that one episode of Hard Knocks where they were at the was it the Senior Bowl in Frisco, which, by the way, I didn't realize that Jerry had managed to get the Senior Bowl at his facility. Well done. They had all the GMs kind of standing around joking. It was like a 20-year frat bro convention.
Like when we go to Super Bowl Radio Row or Army Navy, a bunch of radio guys sitting around talking.
It was the guys. I was like, I thought there would be, I don't know. It just struck me as these are just a bunch of frat bros that fell into this job. Like, hey, what's his name? What's the Giants guy? Joe Schoen?
Yeah,
Shane. Hearing him, now we know that eventually Saquon is going to end up with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And we're in the build-up as to what's about to happen. I guess this was filmed back in April or May, whenever this was going on. And he's trying to figure out, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with Saquon. And watching the conversations behind the scenes between him and other GMs around the league, and they were talking about that Charlotte deal. You remember in that?
Yeah.
I was like, this is so...
Well,
it would be so easy to be a general manager.
And again, we can't offer him $7 million. That'd be disrespectful. Imagine as much access as Jerry allows, and as much as they have put out.
Right.
Even I don't think the Cowboys would agree to this, and that's telling something. So yeah, there's some good docs out there. I watched Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley.
It was a worthy attempt, though. Yet again, Netflix has let me down.
What do you mean Netflix has let you
Netflix,
down?
if it's on Netflix, the movie's gonna suck.
Well, it
You
didn't
get all
suck.
excited and they tell you Beverly Hills Cop's coming in 3 weeks. You're like, I literally saved it. We were like on Wednesday. No. Let's not watch it yet. Let's wait till when we can all gather around and refresh our memories of the 80s. And we all gathered around and they played the old soundtrack.
Yeah, it was great.
And then I got to look at Judge Reinhold, who suddenly looks like Mickey Rourke. What happened to that dude?
How old is he now?
I don't care. Look older. Don't look like that. He doesn't even look human.
Well, and in Taggart.
Well, Taggart just got old. I get it.
Right? I thought the movie was great from the sense of I had such low expectations going in. It exceeded the expectations because where have all those guys been? Right? I mean, like Eddie Murphy was famous, and then he hadn't been on the planet for a long time. Like, I made a lot of money. I'm going to go live my life out of the spotlight. Right? Where's he been? Has he done anything? I don't. And then, all right, well, I need some money before I'm gone. Well, let's put another movie out. All right. I thought the movie was as far-fetched and goofy as you would expect. I got a great 80s movie in 2024.
Yeah, I guess you did.
Everything about it was what I expected.
I just couldn't get over Judge Reinhold. I'm sorry. I've looked him up again. And if Reinhold had been like a sex symbol back in the day, I would get the fact that he's had so much work done.
Well, I mean, see, what do you know him for? Beverly Hills and Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
yeah,
right?
I mean, but he had a series of voice.
But outside of that, I mean, you go back to those two movies, right?
He's been in over 75 motion pictures.
Well, see, that's ridiculous.
But he looks like a dude that was trying to hold on to something that, quite frankly, I don't think he ever had.
He's been in 75 movies.
I'm just saying
he's just fine.
He looks like an alien would look if he was trying to look like an old human.
That's a pretty accurate description.
He looks kind of like it looks like it's a good attempt, but you go, you're not real, are you? There's something. You're a lizard.
Mm-hmm. There's something.
If he was sitting next to you on an airplane and you had a little bit to drink, you might start screaming that he was reptilian.
I mean, I wouldn't go all like crazy lady with Carrot Top on the plane.
I'm just saying, if you look at him real close, he could be a reptile. It didn't age well.
He is a little snaky.
Judge Reinhold's been in 75 movies, and I wondered where he'd been because he didn't look like himself. Well, you have just begun your day.
Yeah. It's all right. It's going to be fun on the Blitz today. We'll talk some football. My buddy Taylor McCarg is going to join us. He was down at the Manning Passing Academy.
Oh, man.
Coaching down there.
Did Texas have a good week as they started the SEC?
Oh, yeah.
They lost the Twitter wars as their first full week as SEC members concluded. Thanks, Jason Minix, for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you for stopping by. AJ Hoffman, we believe, is in transit. Sure. It's like your Amazon Prime. Today, tomorrow, we'll text you when it happens. We'll see you tomorrow at 6.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the